A very good morning. I extend a very warm and hearty welcome to one and all present here for the one-day national webinar titled Career Prospects in Management, Banking and Insurance, organized by Internal Quality Assurance Cell, Department of Commerce and Department of English of Parle Tilak Vidyala Association, M.L.Dahanukar College of Commerce, affiliated to University of Mumbai, India. The webinar is organized with a view to present an orientation to the listeners regarding the various prospects available in the field of management, banking, and insurance. The webinar also aims to offer an understanding of the urgency of the employability needs. Dear participants, please note that feedback link of the national webinar will be shared towards the end of the program, and the e-certificate will be provided only to those who attend the full program and submit the feedback form. And now, to take this webinar forward, I request our dear convener, respected Dr. Kanchan Fulmali, whose sustained guidance always remains a motivating force for all of us to deliberate on the conception of the webinar. Over to you, madam.
Good morning, all.
Madam, you're on mute.
Good morning, all. My dear friends, students, and the eminent speakers, those who are present here. I take immense pleasure in the welcoming you all in the national webinar on career prospects in management, banking, and insurance, organized by Department of Commerce, Department of English, under the aegis of IQAC of PTVA's M.L.Dahanukar College of Commerce. I heartily welcome Mr. Ravindra Chawla sir and Mr. Vishesh Nadiana to throw light upon something which has direct hearing on our lives, that is our professional lives. That you sirs to talk about our parents' institution, PTVAs. It has a Since unfortunate onset of academia have found ways deal with challenges, and our institution has organized webinars keeping in the mind the requirement of the pressing times. Last week itself, we had an international symposium in present webinar may be said that it is a continuation of our efforts to reach out to maximum student as well faculties at the national level. The global situation, moreover, given the new current challenges, call for new approaches. This could be met with relevant mentoring and guidance. Keeping this concern in view, we have organized this national webinar on career prospects in management, banking, and insurance. I'm certain that this webinar will bring fresh perspectives by enabling the participants to be employment ready and also offer necessary guidelines in the field of participation required to establish themselves in the professional sphere. I urge all the participants to engage in the session with positive approach. Behind every task, teamwork is important, and I got a very good team members, which I congratulate them and thanks to them. Bottom of my heart, Assistant Professor Ms. Rohini Madavi, Assistant Professor Somnath Deshmukhya, Mr. Shuddhodhan Athawale, and Ms. Siddhi Kadam. For their effort towards the webinar, I once again thankful to my management also, and our constant supporter and principal, Dr. D.M. Doke, Vice Principal Srimati Chandana Chakravarti, and my technical partner and always along with us, with our institute, that is Archana Talekar madam. So thank you once again, all of you. Over to you, Rohini.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such motivating words. It's my privilege to introduce our first speaker of the webinar, Mr. Ravindra Singh Chawla. Sir is the founder and managing partner of RSC Skill Building and Consulting Solutions, LLP. His total work experience is almost of 3 decades. He has been a learning and development facilitator, content creator, financial planner, management consultant, motivational speaker, and a coach since May 2011. He is also a visiting faculty at reputed institutions. In terms of his academic qualification, Sir is a postgraduate in economics and alumnus of IIM Ahmedabad, with quite a few other professional qualifications and certifications, such as Certified Financial Planner and Certificate in NISM series. Prior to embarking on his entrepreneurial journey, he spent over 18 years in corporates, setting up and managing profit centers and verticals at national level, and managing large teams for rapidly growing organizations from India's top league corporate houses, including MNCs such as Rico India Limited and HDFC Standard Life Insurance Company Limited. The last role handled by him in HDFC Standard Life Insurance Company Limited was as a Vice President Emerging Markets. He is very passionate about contributing towards spreading financial literacy, and his mission is to make learning become simple. So, it's our immense pleasure to have you amongst us. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am, for the kind, words and warm introduction. I must congratulate, your esteemed institution for organizing this event. Respected principal sir, vice principal madam, Madam Kanchan, and all team members, it's indeed a pleasure being here. And I must appreciate that you organized this particular event, because ultimately it's going to be benefiting the young leaders of our country, because they are the ones who are going to be leading our country to become the fastest growing economy in the world. They are the future industry captains. So it's always a pleasure interacting with the young leaders. Good morning to all of you. Let me share my presentation and then we'll start. Okay. Now, the first thing, I want to start with is this particular quotation. And it says that choose the job you love and you'll never have to work, even a single day in your life. Now, I used to be training my own team. I was in sales. I was leading large teams. And I used to be training my own team and I started loving it. Because I started loving it, I decided that when I become an entrepreneur, I would get into training. So that's what. So today, what we are doing is what we love. And that is why we don't think we are working. It absolutely, feels as if we are doing something which we are totally enjoying. And that's what is very important. So what I want to tell you is that choose the field which you really love, which you are very passionate about, right? So when you choose your career option, it's important that you should be, having some interest in that. Because if you were to choose something which you do not like or you do not have interest in, then obviously it's going to become difficult for you going forward. You may not enjoy it. And if we do not enjoy something, then obviously we may not be able to put our heart and soul in that, right? That's the first thing I want to start with. Okay. So let me talk about banking first, and then we'll talk about insurance. Now, what is banking? See, conventionally or traditionally, banking has been, in the business, banks are in the business of maturity transformation. So what do I mean by maturity transformation? They would accept deposits from people like you and me, right? These deposits would be for short term, and then they would use this money to lend it for longer term, right? So obviously, when they lend it for longer term, they will get a higher interest than what they are paying to the depositors, right? And this difference, or what is called as the net interest margin, is what is the profit for the banks, right? Now, this has been the conventional approach. But now, banking is also transforming. It's been transforming for quite some time now. And with fintech emerging as a major disruptor, it's actually transforming to the next level. And that is where there are a lot of opportunities, right? So conventionally, the structure of Indian banking has been that banks are of different types. You have scheduled banks, you have non-scheduled banks, and you have development banks, right? Uh, but if you were to, let's say, look at it from a little micro perspective, the scale of banking operations could be divided into two, broadly speaking, right? One is retail banking, which means dealing with individuals, right? People like you and me. It also includes HNIs, high net worth individuals. It also includes companies, right? Small companies, MSME enterprises, and the wholesale banking is the large scale banking. And it deals with big corporates, big institutions. Today, we are in a startup culture. Recently, we had the very successful IPO of Zomato, right? So obviously, there are companies, big institutions who would need money. At the same time, there would be people who would be arranging this money, right? And that is what wholesale banking actually involves, right? So let us allocate it into first let's look at the retail banking, and then we will look at the investment banking. So wholesale banking actually, for all practical purposes, is the investment banking. Right? So when we talk about the retail banking, it involves personal banking, it involves business banking, which means dealing with businesses, small businesses. It could be small or medium businesses. It could also mean uh, uh, international banking, and at the same time, it also involves dealing with corporates. Right? So that's what are the components of retail bank. We'll talk about the opportunities that will come here in terms of the career opportunities, but we're just trying to understand what does banking involve. Okay? So ultimately, it is about being able to support your institution or being able to contribute towards your institution's growth, whether it is dealing in retail banking, whether it is dealing in business banking, whether it is dealing in international banking. As an employee, our job is to be able to support the institution or the company or the bank be able to do the work, right? And at the same time, we are also supposed to keep our customers happy. So as we know, we need to understand what are the expectations of the customers, and the bank will be wanting to make sure that they are able to exceed those expectations. Then only the customer will get delighted. No? So today, when we talk about the retail banking, banks are dealing with individuals as well as the HNI customers, high net worth individuals. Now, earlier, you remember earlier, maybe many of us may not be in that era, but before the era of malls, we used to go and shop, in markets, in the mom and pop shops, right? So we had to go to, there were big bazaars, we had to go there and we had to shop there. But now we have malls, which means everything is available under one roof. Same is happening with banks also. Today, the banks are dealing with virtually everything that a customer requires, right? So customer would require loan, the customer would require auto loan, home loan, car loan. The customer would require to invest money, right? They would require insurance. Banks are providing everything. They are providing mutual fund, they are providing demat account, they are providing everything that you need, right? So let us understand about this aspect, and then we will talk about what could be the kind of career opportunities which could be relevant here. Okay. So let's broadly look at it. Any individual who's working would first be having active income, right? In our active working life means for which we have to run, right? So whether you are in a salary job, whether you are in a business, whether you are a farmer, whether you are a self-employed person, right? Till the time you are running, you are getting this income. So as we know, people would be working till their retirement age. Let's say somebody starts a career at the age of 23. This person would be working till 60 years of age, for example. That's the active working life, for which we will get active income. If we were to stop running, this income stops, right? The other big income would be required is in our post-retirement life. So once our active working life ends, once we stop working actively, right, our income would stop, which means during our active working life itself, we are supposed to make sure that we also provide for a passive income, right? So let's talk about it. So active income is till the time we are running, till the time we are working, right? And passive income means that we would need, so let's take an example. Let us say a particular person is working from the age of 23, he works till the age of 60, right? And let's say he wants to retire at the age of, or his life expectancy is 85 years, right? So from this period till retirement period, this would be active income, right? And thereafter, this person would be requiring passive income, right? So everyone would be requiring passive income. So banks today are also contributing towards that, right? What could be the examples of different passive income? It could be interest income, it could be pension income, it could be rental income, right? So the banks are also contributing to make sure, banks are also working to make sure that they are able to cater to all the expectations of the customer, irrespective of the area, right? So let's look at it that any individual, I mean, your students right now, your student, after some time, you'll get into your professional life. Thereafter, you will have your family, right? So our goals would be different across each stage, right? Which means we will need to cater to our aspirations. So banks would want to cater to these expectations of the customers, right? Similarly, after retirement, at the time of retirement, again, there would be some other requirements of people. All these areas are catered to by banks. Okay? So people would have different financial goals. They would have responsibilities. They would have their dreams. They would have their. They would need to manage their risks, right? So today, banks are providing everything. They are into all the areas wherein they would be able to cater to the fulfillment of responsibilities that people may have. What kind of responsibilities? People may want to focus on children's education. Customers may want to focus on investing money so that they are able to have adequate money for arranging marriage of their children, for higher education of their children. People would want to plan their retirement, right? People would also want to make sure that they are able to take care of their aged parents. So banks are there to support their customers be able to fulfill all these responsibilities, right? Similarly, dreams. People would want bigger homes. People would want, customers would want cars, right? Customers would want to go on vacations, international vacations. They would want various kinds of gadgets. Banks are there to support the customers do that, right? But as we know, life does not always, we are not able to get whatever we want in our lives. As they say, man proposes, but God disposes, right? So ultimately, we are like kites in the, we are like kites who are flying, and the string is in the hand of the Almighty. Whenever the Almighty decides to pull the string, this kite would stop flying, right? That is why it is critical that we should be able to manage our risks also. And banks are there to be able to support us to that as well, right? So life insurance, car insurance, property insurance, travel insurance, etc., etc. Banks provide that also. Okay? Now, any customer, detailed customer we are talking about, individual customer, including HNIs, what would be their expectations? So they would want that we should have appropriate strategy to be able to manage risks. They would want that we should be able to implement our budgeting and spending plans. They would want that we should be able to, take care of investment planning. We should be able to accumulate whatever we want to be able to take care of our goals. Like, again, how to be able to make sure that we are able to get higher returns. So wealth management, right? Obviously, they would want to get higher returns, right? At the same time, tax planning. So banks today are also dealing in taxation planning for their customers, right? Very important area area is estate planning. Okay, any individual would want that after his death, his or her death, the wealth should get distributed as per the desires of that person, right? So let's take an example. Let us say a person has two children, and let's say one particular child is not taking care of the family. The client may want that wealth should only get passed on to one child, right? So obviously he needs to make sure that he creates a will. So this is how estate planning works, and banks are very much involved there. Similarly, for example, just imagine that there's a particular person who's got, mentally retarded child. Now, obviously, that child may be fully dependent on the particular client, right? So the client may be worried that what will happen to the child after I am no more. So in that case, what the client could do is the client could set up a trust so that after the death of the parents, the trust could take care of the child, right? So banks are also involved in supporting the customers create trusts, right? And also manage their debt efficiently. Right? So this is what retail banking involves. Ultimately, it's not just accepting deposits and just giving loans, but a whole lot of other areas. Today, for example, people are really, having very high aspirations. For example, they would want to also shop a lot. So banks are also involved in giving them credit cards. Various kinds of cards are there, right? Similarly, they would have different levels of uh, different clubs, you could say, and they would want to cater to the desires of the customers depending upon various kinds of privileges they will be offering to the customers, depending upon the different levels of clubs. So this is what retail banking normally involves. Right? Now let's talk about corporate bank. So corporate banking again would deal with small businesses as well as large businesses also, right? So there will be various areas. For example, cash management system, right? So just imagine today, for example, a company may be into e-commerce, they may be into home deliveries, right? They get regular cash, or They may be getting some money in their bank account. Mostly it would be bank account, right? So they would want to also be able to make sure that even if they are collecting cash, the money should get invested in the bank or get deposited in the bank. Now, if they were to go to bank every time, then it would become difficult. So cash management system involves collection of cash from the shop itself on a regular basis, on a daily basis, right? Similarly, it could be in project finance, right? So there are various areas. But the major area that I want to talk about, which probably many of you may be focusing on, right, is investment banking. So what do we mean by investment banking? Let us understand that. See, primarily speaking, investment banking, so let me give an example to you. So let's say there is a particular corporate, right? Let's say corporate A, right? They need funds. So this corporate need funds, right? Similarly, there could be other institution which has funds, right? So this institution has funds, so they can provide funds, right? Now this institution, this corporate would need fund, they would need fund, and they can provide fund, right? So they may need an intermediary who may be able to sort of support both of them, right? So corporate A may require funds, corporate B may have funds available. So someone would support them. Someone could support A also, and someone could support B also. That is what investment banking involves, right? So investment banking broadly involves various things such as mergers and acquisitions. Let's say a company wants to acquire another company. So they would need advisory services. They would want someone to value this particular company, whether we are buying it at a good price or not, right? Let's say you want to buy another company. Obviously, you would want to make sure that you buy it at a fair price. You may not want to pay extra price for that. Somebody would need to advise you for that, right? You may also want to raise capital. So you would need somebody's support for that. So there are large companies, large investment banks, such as JP Morgan Chase, or the Citigroup, right? Barclays, the multi big companies who would be dealing in this. Similarly, when a company comes out with an IPO, right, someone would need to underwrite that issue. Someone would need to say that in case the issue does not get subscribed fully, right, we will buy this entire, we will give you the entire money, right? That is what underwriting involves. So underwriters would charge their commission. Similarly, investment banks would charge their commission to arrange funds for their clients, right? So that is what investment banking does. Okay? So investment banking normally involves acting as an intermediary, right? Both from the perspective of the customer, they would have separate investment banks supporting the customers who are requiring funds. Similarly, there would be a set of investment banks who are advising those people who have funds available and who can provide funds, right? So investment banking involves that also. So broadly speaking, a major area, right? A major area which is there in investment banking involves all these things. But if you were to look at, the micro aspects, there are multiple things which are involved. Private equity, portfolio management, research, right? Investor relations, treasury services, valuation, multiple things, right? So all these things are involved in investment banking. And today there are a lot of job opportunities in investment banking, right? So you have job opportunities in retail banking, you have job opportunities in business banking, you have job opportunities in catering to HNIs in terms of wealth management. You have job opportunities in investment banking. You have job opportunities in risk management, right? So a company A wants to buy company B. Obviously, there is risk involved. A company B wants to lend money to company A. There is risk involved, right? So you would want to make sure that you do proper due diligence. You undertake due diligence to make sure that all your transactions are absolutely proper, right? So one major area is risk management, right? Another big area, and that is why there are courses such as financial risk management course, FRM, which is really gaining a lot of cognizance these days. Similarly, one area which we all know is really big one is fund management. So mutual funds involve fund management, insurance companies involve fund management, banking involves fund management, right? So another area which has really been uh, having a lot of importance and all of us know about it is CFA, right? So these are all different kinds of areas where you could consider in case you have interest to uh, choose those as your career options. Uh, I'll be happy to answer various questions towards the end of this session. I'm just telling from a broader perspective. Since there are a lot of people who would be watching this on YouTube, whatever questions come to your mind, you may keep writing in the chat window, and we'll take up the questions later. Okay, and so let's now talk about insurance. Now, it's all about risk management, right? So risk is all around us. We just experienced COVID, one of the horrid times in the history, and we all saw that we have had major colossal losses happening there. So obviously, risk management is something which has been very, very important. But unfortunately, in India, people have not been, much aware about it, or I would say they've been ignorant about it. That is where there is huge, huge potential, right? So just like banking, insurance industry is also been growing leaps and bounds. And I personally think that the potential in the insurance sector is too big. It's too big, right? We'll talk about it because see, every day we we see accidents happening around us, right? We see calamities, natural calamities, but there are a lot of calamities which are man-made. So fire, for example, mostly it is it is man-made, right? And then there could be natural calamities also like flood, but there also mostly it is man-made considering the type of constructions which are happening these days. We are ignoring the nature, right? So obviously flood may also have been the reason for that. Earthquakes, right? So whenever you have these kind of disruptions happening, obviously if somebody has not done proper risk management, it would lead to huge losses, right? Uh, Another really big area which is emerging is liability, liability related risks, right? And even cancellation. So just to give you an example, last year Wimbledon got cancelled in 2020, right? Now Wimbledon had been paying $2 million every year as premium towards cancellation of the event because of a pandemic, right? And they had been doing it for 17 years, right? They had been doing it for 17 years. Never ever did the event, get cancelled, but still they continued to pay premiums. Last year, because the event got cancelled because of pandemic, right? And because they had the insurance policy, they got 141 million towards that policy, right? So just imagine for 17 years, they would have paid $2 million as premium, but they kept paying it because they were wanting to manage the risk. And suddenly, after 17 years, they realized that the decision was right. Right? Same, we all know about health insurance, and unfortunately, there could be death. So, life insurance is also very important. Right? Now, insurance is transfer of risk. So, when we buy insurance, we are actually transferring the risk from the insured, the person, to the insurer. Right? Now, it's not just individuals who need insurance. Entities, corporates, institutions also need insurance. And Wimbledon is one example, right? Similarly, companies are also taking insurance policy to cover the risk against liability, right? Somebody may file a case against them with something, right? So insurance is actually transfer of risk. All right. Now, why is the potential so huge in India? Because every day we see people riding on the roads without helmet. Some of them may have been talking on phone. We may not want to put on seat belts. We may, just release the seat belt immediately after we cross the municipal limits of the city, right? So people are ignorant about it. There's huge ignorance, right? That is where there is huge potential. Now, just to give you, some statistics, that in India, the penetration of insurance, penetration is the percentage contribution to the GDP of the country, right? So in insurance, the percentage contribution to the GDP of the country is just around 4%, right? Little over 4%. In life insurance, it is 3.2%, right? In life. So it's only 3.2% gets contributed to the GDP of the country, right? And in general insurance, it is around 1%. So total is around 4.2%. Only 4.2% of the GDP comes from the insurance sector. But there is huge potential, right? So if gradually people are becoming aware, and so obviously this percentage, the penetration would be becoming higher, right? Similarly, the per capita premium is also quite low today, and it is also going to become very high. So insurance sector would offer a lot of opportunities, right? So just to give you a snapshot of the insurance industry, today we have 24 life insurance companies in India. By the way, in UK, there are 200 life insurance companies, right? So India is absolutely a very small market as of now, but in the times to come, there would be many, many more companies who will be coming in. Right? In the general insurance and health insurance space, if we were to see, there are 33 companies right now. Right? In reinsurance space, there are 2 companies right now. But this number would be gradually growing phenomenally. So there will be a lot of opportunities in the insurance sector as well. Now, why banking and insurance? Because, the percentage contribution of the BFSI sector, banking, financial services, and insurance sector, is around 33%. 1/3 of our GDP gets contributed by the BFSI sector, right? And this sector has been growing at a compounded annual growth rate of more than 25%, right? So you can very well imagine that if financial services sector contributes, BFSI sector contributes to 33% of the GDP, you can very well imagine that 1/3 of the jobs, total jobs, would definitely pertain to the BFSI sector, right? Even if you were to look at the stock market, the BSE, Bombay Stock Exchange, Sensex, and the NSE Nifty, right? Even if you look there, the weightage of the companies in the financial services sector is more than 30%, right? So BFSI sector is definitely one sector where you're going to have maximum number of jobs. So banking and insurance is definitely one particular sector which which is really going to be growing in a big way. Right? Now, where are the areas where you could get, where you could, which are the uh, areas where the jobs would be available in the insurance sector, right? So these are different areas: sales, marketing, underwriting, human resources, finance, investments, right? Operations and customer service, claims, actuarial. So actuaries are people who create insurance products, and there's a big demand of these people, right? So actuarial science is emerging as a major, very important field of study, right? Again, learning and development training area is also there. But I would strongly urge you to consider the sales, business development area, because unfortunately I have come across a lot of young people, and they are not very keen to get into sales. But I have done sales for all my life, and believe you me, sales is one area where you would be able to acquire a lot of skills, right? And even if, let's say, you were to want to become an entrepreneur, you will have to sell. Okay, so sales and marketing would have maximum job opportunities, maximum growth. So definitely that's an area which you must look at, right? So now, how to prepare yourself for various kinds of job opportunities? See, just to make it very short and sweet, uh, it's all about knowledge, attitude, skills, and habits. So all these areas you will need to acquire knowledge, right? So you need to have knowledge about investment area. You will need to have knowledge about, for example, economics. You will need to have knowledge about different areas in finance, right? Various areas, and you will have to keep upgrading your knowledge. The other area is attitude. You need to make sure that you've got very good work ethic. You need to be very passionate about your work. You need to enjoy your work, right? And that is what your attitude is all about. Skills. You will need to acquire a lot of skills, a lot of soft skills. For example, even if you know, even if you are a very good investment, you have very good knowledge about investment management. If you cannot present your thoughts, then obviously it's not going to be worth it, right? So you need to have good presentation skills. You will need to have good relationship building skills. You will need to have good business analytic skills, right? You will need to have skills pertaining to valuations, right? So various kinds of skills are required, and your habits. So habit to learn continuously, habit to constantly keep upskilling yourself, habit to keep introspecting, habit to make sure that you get inspired from others, being in the company of positive minded people, etc. Right? So just to give you, uh, uh, just to sort of summarize it, which are the areas which are really emerging in a big way? So investment management is one major area, right? So CFA is one area you could really focus on. FRM is another area. Those of you who want to get into, accounting, you could consider CPA. CPA is the American version of chartered accountancy, right? Certified public accountants. So this is again one area which you could really focus on. So these are international certifications, right? If you want to deal with retail customers and do not want to get into fund management, etc., etc., you want to get into wealth advisory, right? Then you may consider CFP also. That's again one certification which is very important, right? At the same time, you could also consider various, exams which are conducted by NISM, right? So, for example, NISM Series 10A, Level 1 Investment Advisor, 10B, Level 2 Investment Advisor, right? These are and very good examinations. Mutual funds is NISM Series 5A, right? See, when you are equipped with these certifications, no, you'll be able to make a difference about yourself. You'll be able to really differentiate yourself from others, and you'll be able to improve your chances for a job, right? So, along with that, I would also encourage you to take up internships so that you could also learn simultaneously along with your studies, right? See, today we have best of faculty members in colleges. The faculty members are taking a lot of interest in supporting the students acquire more and more learning. But at the end of the day, we need to take more interest, right? So you will need to constantly keep acquiring your skills, take up internships, assignments, work with companies or maybe self-employed people also, right? Understand how they are working. Try and relate your theoretical knowledge with the practical concepts. So this is what it is. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have. These are my contact details.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. Participants, any questions should you have? Any comments or any observations are also solicited.
So in banks, for example, there could be, see, as we discussed, which are the areas banks deal in. So banks would want people who are having knowledge about risk management. Banks would want people who have knowledge about investment management. Bank would want people who have knowledge about fund management. Bank would want people who have knowledge about the different areas in finance. Bank would want people who have skills in selling, relationship management, negotiation skills, business analytics, right? Banks would want people who have got very good communication skills. Banks would want people who are able to support them, push their business, right? Banks would want people who are very good in terms of taxation management, right? So whatever areas banks are dealing in, you will have banks requiring people in those areas. Same with insurance. So insurance would deal with underwriting. They will need people who have knowledge about underwriting. Underwriting means risk assessment, whether they should be insuring a particular person or a particular risk or not, right? That is what underwriting is. Risk assessment and risk pricing. So what price should that risk be accepted at? Similarly, sales management, marketing, digital marketing is a major area, whether it is banks, whether it is insurance companies. Everyone needs people in the digital marketing area, right? Machine learning, artificial intelligence are major area. Why? Because fintech, financial technology is emerging everywhere. By the way, in the insurance sector today, we have a company, Echo, ACKO, Echo. That's purely an insure tech company. They're totally a technology-driven company, right? They are only selling insurance through their app and website. Fintech is also emerging as a major area in banking also. So artificial intelligence, machine learning, APIs, etc., etc., right? All these areas are really emerging in a big manner.
Okay, sir, I would like to take some questions with your
Yes,
permission
please.
of some participants.
Oh, sir.
One of the participants has asked, sir, would you please throw light on various courses offered by private banks that they provide some employment opportunities along with courses? Such courses, if you can talk about a little bit.
Uh, Courses offered by private banks.
Yes, sir, and that provide employment also, like placement.
See, the fact of the matter is today banks would want people to have skills, knowledge and skills, right? So students may want to equip themselves with knowledge and skills before they appear for interviews, right? So they will need to get themselves certified. They will need to get themselves. Um, they will need to take up examination, pass those examinations, have that particular certification. So, which are the important areas which are emerging? So, one is CFA, right? CFA has three levels. CFA is an international certification. If you want to get to mutual funds for managing funds, if you want to become a research analyst with a broking company, if you want to take up a job in insurance company in the investment department, CFA would be required, right? If you want to get into banks for risk management, FRM, financial risk management is particular course which is important. You may consider pursuing that particular course, right? But if let's say you want to get into from a mass perspective, if you want to join a bank as relationship manager and support the bank, reach out to their customers for wealth management, etc., then certifications like CFP, NISM examinations, etc., would be benefiting, right? So first,
Okay,
you need to identify which area do you want to get into. Similarly, if you want to get into the technical side, right? Let's say fintech technology, or let's say the IT side, then you will need to make sure that you are equipped yourself with artificial intelligence on machine learning or web engineering, mobile engineering, etc., Python, Java, on that.
okay, thank you, sir. Before I move to the next question, I would like to make an announcement for the participants. Dear participants, please note that the feedback link of the national webinar will be shared towards the end of this program, and the e-certificates will be provided only to those who attend the full program and submit the feedback form. So the next question that one of our participants has asked is, which is the best career option one can select in banking for commerce graduation? One who's done commerce graduation, which will be the best career option for them?
Uh, Honestly speaking, best is quite a relative term because it would depend upon what are the interest areas, which is the area. So let's take an example. Let us say if you want to get into investment management, right? If you want to get into investment banking, if you want to become a specialist in terms of being able to support the bank, uh, offer proper advice, in terms of mergers and acquisitions, etc. Then probably one area would be risk management, right? Because the investment banking would have people who specialize in risk management. Let's take an example. Let's say company A wants to acquire company B, right? So there they would want to look at whether the valuation is correct or not, right? So as a professional, I need to have knowledge about financial modeling. I need to have knowledge about fundamentals of, let's say, financial fundamentals, right? Various financial ratios, etc. So CFA would be of relevance there, right? Similarly, if I'm working in a credit institution and a particular company wants loan from me, right? Let's say I'm working in a credit assessment institution. So in that particular case, whether a particular issue, should be accepted or not, whether a particular company should be given loan or not, in that case, risk management would be involved. In that case, FRM would be a good course, right? But just to attempt give the answer to the young person who asked this question, CFA has been very popular, for the last few years. So obviously, if you do CFA, then prospects would be good. But then CFA obviously is relatively comparatively more expensive. It is spread across 3 levels. It would take you three years to be able to do that. You can pursue CFA only after only if you are in the final year of your undergraduate course or thereafter. Right? So it's got 3 levels, but then yes,
Okay.
if you want to get into fund management, if you want to get into investment management, etc., that would be the best. But one area which is really emerging, although it is not really got as much recognition as it should have, is FRM, financial risk management. Right? That is an emerging area. Maybe over the next 7-8 years, the importance of that may be as much as that of CFA. Right? So you may also consider FRM that you could complete in 1.5 odd years, right? And it is relatively less expensive. So that would also support you be able to get better job opportunities. But if you are looking at mass market, right, dealing with the HNI individuals and also maybe considering the opportunities to become an entrepreneur later on, then then you can also look at CFP and pursuing various kinds of NISM courses also.
Okay, thank you, sir. One of our students, viewers in YouTube chat box, the question is very interesting. As you talked about various certification courses, sir, ACCA.
Sorry, sir, I couldn't hear you.
Okay,
I couldn't hear you.
Okay,
sorry.
One second. Am I audible, sir? Now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so one of our viewers, participants in the chat box, YouTube chat box, she's asked question, Ms. Khushi, otherwise asked question. ACA and CFA, is it a good combination for finance and business? The courses ACCA and CFA.
ACCA, if I understand correctly, whatever little bit knowledge I have is little elementary, in terms of the level. CFA is definitely much more advanced level. I believe, I believe so that ACCA could be pursued. You could start pursuing it even after your 10th standard, right? CFA is much more advanced. So definitely, if you are comparing between the two, then I would recommend to you that you may consider CFA. But one area, again, those people who may want to pursue career options abroad, is that you may consider CPA, Certified Public Accountant, right? I believe that the pass percentage in CPA is much better considering CA, Indian CA. So in Indian CA, I believe the pass percentage is around 10 single digits, less than 10%. But I believe in CPA, the pass percentage is almost 40-45%. And our CA takes around almost 3 years or even more to complete, whereas ACA course could also be a CPA course could also be completed in little over 1 year, around 1 year. So those of you wanting to pursue jobs in career options, abroad, you want to go abroad, you may consider CPA also. But if insurance, sorry, I'm just adding there. One area which is in insurance is really a great area. You may consider is actuarial science, right? See, all this while we have had very few actuaries, but there is a big demand for actuaries, right? If you could start looking at that, it would really support you a lot, right? So, actuarial science, those of you who really want to build a career in the insurance sector, you may consider that.
Okay, thank you very much. So one more question I had similar. You are already answered the question. This is it proper to go for actual and entrance examination? And you already answered. So thank you very much, sir. With this, we will move towards the end. So very wonderfully, Mr. Ravinder Chawla, sir, has expatiated on the topic of banking and insurance career. He talked about the various career options that one must love and one must follow. He also talked about various arenas of banking and insurance fields, nuances and counters of the sectors, and the skill that one requires in order to enter into banking sector. And thank you very much, sir, from the bottom of my heart and on behalf of my organization and my colleagues. So friends, with this brings us to the successful denouement of the first session. With this, I once again thank you, Mr. Ravinder, sir. And it's time for us to move to the next session. I request all of you to be there till the end. Let's listen to the next session. I request my friend, Mr. Somnath, to take over the baton from here.
Thank you, Mr. Shadon. I hope I'm audible. Yeah. So it's my proud privilege to introduce our next speaker of the day, Mr. Vishesh Nadian, who is a chemical engineer and an IIM Calcutta alumnus. So he's with us now, and he has more than 12 years of experience in teaching and training students. He has trained more than 5,000 students in MBA entrances, BBA entrances, and in campus recruitment training. He started from a very humble background of teaching students from his hometown, and now a serial entrepreneur, like founder director of Preptors Education, College Board, as well as sharing the scoop. Hinting towards his dedication further in his leisure time, he likes to connect with students, giving them motivational gyan and all kinds of encouragement and guiding them and mentoring them towards a better future in all spheres. We are truly privileged to have you with us, Mr. Vishesh. I look forward to you. We hand it over to you, Mr. Vishesh. I guess just lost connection, Mr. Vishesh. Viewers, request you to hold on for a while. I guess we've lost connection. Just a second. Please request you to kindly wait till we connect to Mr. Vishesh.
I hope you all are enjoying this session. And you have any inputs, kindly provide them in the chat box. We would be more than happy to incorporate them. In
Yeah, I think
Yes, sir.
you
Yeah,
have to
yeah,
stay along with us because
yeah.
feedback link also you are getting. And about MBA, you are getting a lot of information. Our next speaker, that is Vishesh
Yes.
Nadiana. So
Yeah,
he's
he has joined us.
right now he is along with us. So welcome Vishesh Nadiana, sir. And I hope you are giving a good information about various career perspectives on MBA. Thank you, sir. Thank you and welcome you all. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am. First of all, thank you, Somnath sir. Thank you, Kanchan ma'am, for giving me an opportunity to talk in front of so many students. And hi, everyone. I hope I guide you through these management course or the MBA entrances or MBA part, and I'm able to solve your queries. Let me just share my PPT with you all, and then we can start with it. Just give me a moment. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen. Okay, so is this visible, Somnath sir?
Yes, it is. It is.
Okay, thank you so much. So again, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you all know now know about the banking and insurance and the different certification courses, CA, CFA, FRM, ACCA, etc. So there are so many career opportunities that you all have, which you can pursue and can have a good job in future. Now, our aim as a counselor or as a faculty, as a mentor, is to tell you the differences among this certificate courses or the degree or the management part which is out there, and make you understand so that you can choose a career as per your interest. So it is all about generating a skill set as per your interest. So if I'm interested in marketing, maybe I will not go with CA. Obviously, it is for chartered accountants, correct? If I am looking for financial markets or something, so I may go for CFA or CFA or something, which is already discussed with you all. So now I'm going to discuss with you about management. So career in management is something which comes into picture when we look about behind the scenes. So let me give an example. Everyone among us watch movies. So we see actor, actress, dance, drama, etc. But we do not see people who are behind the scene, the producer, director, choreographer, etc. The people who are administrating, the people who are making this film and making it a success. So we do not see these people. So this is where administration comes into picture, everything which happens behind the scenes. Okay? In generic word, we call it as corporate world, which is more about taking decisions. So currently, we all know that Tata has taken Air India Airlines, which they started but then shifted to government during the times of Indira Gandhi. And now it is back to Tata. Even Rakesh Jhunjhunwala is about to start his own airlines. So these are all corporate decisions. Who should run the airlines? Who should be the person taking care of it? How will they run it? How will they generate revenue? How will they generate profit, etc.? Everything happens behind the scenes. As a user, our way of looking at it is just to go and travel with the airline. It may be Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, it can be Ratan Tata's airline, it can be any other airline, correct? So this is what happens in when you learn and when you go through management course. So management has different specializations, there are different colleges, there are different entrances. So I will take you in detail through each and every step in my further slides. So let us first start, why should someone pursue an MBA? So MBA is generally, so management we generally call as MBA. So it can be Masters in Business Administration. It can be PGDM, Postgraduate Diploma in Management. It can be PGP Management, which is Postgraduate Program in Management. It can be PGDBA. It can be MMS. So there are different names. So these are degree names at the end. So the way we have BCom, BMS, BAF, BBI, etc. So there are different names. Okay? So MBA or management in generic, why should someone pursue an MBA or why should someone pursue a management course? So I have listed this 10 reasons out here. So first and foremost is overall personality development. Okay? Let us assume that you are a graduate, a commerce graduate. Okay? You are good in accounts, you get a job in a good firm. Now, this company wish to send you to abroad, okay, on a project. So it can be a 3-month project, 6-month project, and year-long project. So they want to send you because you are good in technicals, you are good in hard skills, and they want you to send and complete a project in abroad. Now, when you go abroad, you have to adapt with their environment, their culture. You need to understand their communication language, and you need to convince people, the other teammates who are working in that project. Obviously, majority of them would be from that particular country. So you will have to convince them about the ideas that you have. Okay? Now, here personality comes into picture, wherein you have convincing skills, you have communication skills, you have team skills, you have team leadership skills, etc. So this all comes into picture, and MBA gives you an opportunity to develop your personality in whole. Second is direct corporate entry. As I told earlier, if you wish to go into a decision making part where you are taking decisions. Now you must have seen that Byju's is these days acquiring many companies. Now, how do they judge whether they should buy a particular company, should not buy a particular company, what should be the investment, how much should they pay to the companies, etc. So these are the decisions. So if you want to be a decision maker, then corporate is the place, and MBA will help you there. Then enhances knowledge, because this is a master's degree. So obviously it enhances knowledge. Networking, because if suppose you are a commerce graduate, you will be sitting with engineers, you will be sitting with art students. So you will come to know what is their perspective, how they analyze the situation. And this will help you to build your own knowledge set, skill set. This is where networking helps. So you will be in touch with these people. Worldwide credentials, better career opportunity, career change. There are people who wish to change their career. So like I was an engineer, I wanted to move out of engineering. So now so after my engineering, I had WorkX, and then I did a course in marketing and sales from IIM Calcutta. So again, if someone wish to change their career, this is one of the opportunities that you get. So if I am a commerce graduate, I wish to move out of commerce, I wish to move out of accounts, you can go in HR, you can go in marketing, sales, etc., depending upon your skill set. Better pay package, be your own boss. So if someone wants to start their own firm in future, that also can be done after the MBA part, because you will be learning all the subjects. The first year in MBA is common. You will be learning about finance, you will be learning about marketing, you will be learning about sales, you will be learning about HR. Everything will be taught to in your first year, and the second year is based on specialization or electives. So you can be your own boss, you can start your own company, or you can join your family business as well. So MBA will give you all those skill set which will help you to grow. Okay? Now let us move on to the next part, what we are going to discuss today. So this is the agenda. What is the eligibility criteria to get into MBA? What is the selection procedure? MBA entrances in India, what is the exam paper pattern, specializations, which are the colleges. So we call MBA colleges as B schools. I'm so sorry. So B schools is business school, going back to school to learn business. Then which are the niche colleges? So everything will be covered in this next 30-35 minutes. So let us first start with the eligibility criteria for MBA. The eligibility criteria to do an MBA is very simple, but you should be a graduate with 50% marks, at least 50% marks. Okay? So even if you secured, suppose 50% in 10th or 45% in 12th, it will not matter. The eligibility criteria says that you need to have 50%, at least 50% in graduation. Obviously, more the merrier. So if you had more percent in 10th, in 12th and graduation, it always increases your chances of getting selected. Okay? But this is the only eligibility criteria. A student who is in his or her final year. Okay? So if suppose I am from commerce background, if I am studying 5th semester of my graduation, then I can apply for this entrances. If I am an engineer and if I am in my 7th semester, then I can apply for this entrances. Okay? So final year students can apply for these entrances and can sit for these entrances. And since this is master's degree, so obviously this master's degree will start after your graduation. It means your college will start after your 6th semester examination. Okay? The entrance you can appear simultaneously with your 5th semester or 6th semester studies, but then your college will start after your 6th semester examination, or the student who is already a graduate. Okay? So imagine someone has already completed graduation this year can also appear for this entrances. There is no upper limit. So even a person with 60 years of age is a graduate can appear for this entrances. But yes, there is a lower limit that a person should be either in final year or should be a graduate. Okay? There are no restrictions on how many attempts you can give. You can give 10 attempts, you can go 20 attempts as per your wish or as per the target college that you are willing to go for. Okay? So this is a very basic eligibility criteria. Let us move on to the selection process. Now, to get into any B school, you have to go through 2 stages. I call it a 2 world war because each are equally important. The first is aptitude test, which we generally call as MBA entrance tests like CAT, CET, SNAP, NMAT, etc. And the second world war or the second stage is the personality round, which is GD and interview. So instead of GD, there can be VAT, written ability test, and second is inter. So you have to go through interview. So you have to go through entrances, you have to go through interview to get into a B school. Okay? Now, how they judge, I will come in the next slide, how they judge through this selection procedure. Let us first look after the top MBA exams which are out there. So these are the main basic entrances which are out there: CAT, ZAT, IFT, NMAT, and so on. Now, I always get query from students, sir, should I appear for CAT or should I go for ZAT or should I go for NMAT, SNAP? Which entrance should I go for? So do not start with the entrances. Never ever start with entrance that I'm going to appear for CAT, I'm going to appear for ZAT. Always start with the college. Which college which you want to get into. Say, suppose if you want to get into IIMs, then you have to appear for CAT. If you don't want to go for IIM and if you want to go in NMIMS, then you have to appear for NMAT. If you don't want to go into NMIMS, but you want to go in symbiosis, then you have to appear for SNAP as an entrance. So first decide on college, the B school where you want to go for, and then go for the entrances. Okay? So let us imagine I want to go into IIM. So CAT is the entrance that I will have to appear. There will be 1 attempt. So CAT is conducted once in a year, last Sunday of November. So this year CAT is going to be conducted on 28th of November. There is no negative marking. So ZAT is conducted in January, 1 attempt, IFT 1 attempt. NMAT has, you can appear thrice for NMAT between October and December, so as to go into NMIMS or other institutes which are out there. For symbiosis, you can appear twice, for testnet, for 1, and so on. So depending upon the entrance, you can look forward for attempts and the negative marking. So testnet does not have negative marking, NMAT does not have, CET does not have negative marking. Okay? So there are few entrances which has negative marking, few entrances which does not have negative marking. And this is the roadmap of entrances or the timeline when these entrances are conducted. Generally, NMAT is the entrance which starts from October. It is not necessary to appear for NMAT in October, but it starts, the window starts from October and ends in December. So you can give 3 attempts, maximum 3 attempts. Again, it is not necessary to give 3 attempts, but that is maximum 3 attempts, which you can give between October and December. So you can appear for NMAT in October. If you wish to appear in December, you can go for December. If you wish to appear in November, you can go for November. So you can select your own date. So if suppose I wish to appear for NMAT on 15th of December, because my semester will get completed, 5th semester will get completed, then you can select that date. So it is in your hands when you wish to schedule NMAT attempt. The next entrance, that is CAT, as I said, last Sunday of November. CAT will be conducted. Then IFT 1 week after CAT. So obviously it will be first Sunday of December when IFT will be conducted. then Snap mid-December, then MyCat again mid-December, IBSAT towards the end of December, TestNet first week of January, ZAT first week of January, CMAT last week of January or first week of February, and last entrance that will be conducted is CT, Maharashtra CET, which will be in the month of March, So this is the roadmap of entrances. So in short, this entrances start from October and ends in March. So this is the period when majority of the students appear for these entrances. Okay? Then, which are the MBA specializations out there? The first three specializations which a student chooses is finance, marketing, and human resource. Okay? So if I am a commerce graduate, if I am a student of BAF, if I am a student of BBI, there are high chances that I will select finance as a specialization. Okay? If I have good convincing skills, if I'm an extrovert, then there are high chances that I will select marketing or sales. If I'm good in talking with people, interacting with them and solving their issues, then I can go for HR as a specialization. So let me again give you a brief about marketing and HR. Finance is majorly, most of us know that it involves financial markets knowledge, it involves accounts knowledge, cost management, etc. So there are many topics which are covered into finance, which you can look forward for. But how to decide on marketing and HR? So let me give you an example. As I said that you need to have a convincing sense. So say suppose you have friends of 5 people and you decide, chalo yaar, aaj kuch nashta karte hain apan bahar jaake. And you are like, you have two options. One of your friends says, ke bhai chal samosa khate hain, and you are like, nahi yaar, aaj sandwich khana. Now, if you want to eat sandwich and you want to cross samosa as an option, then you will have to convince your friends. Then you will start saying, अरे यार सैंडविच है, मस्त बनाता है, सैलेड खाता है, डालता है, फिर हेल्थ के लिए अच्छा होता है, काफी टेस्टी होता है, मसाला बहुत अच्छा है, चटनी बहुत अच्छे से डालता है, and you start selling that sandwich wala ka sandwich to your friends. So these are convincing skills. You are convincing other students, you are convincing other people that you should eat sandwich. If they are not convinced, then you will start saying, अरे समोसा है, तेल में आता है, हेल्थ के लिए अच्छा नहीं है, वगैरह वगैरह वगैरह. At the end, you want your friends to accept what you wish to sell. So sandwich खाना है, तो we will start promoting sandwich. Correct. So this is what happens in marketing or sales, that you try to talk about the USPs of that particular firm, of that particular product. Okay? So if you have such kind of skills, then you can pursue marketing and sales as a specialization. If you are like, यार मेरे को फील्ड में नहीं घूमना है क्योंकि सेल्स में फील्ड में घूमने वाला काम होता है, तो मुझे फील्ड में नहीं घूमना है, मुझे कन्विंस नहीं करना है, मुझे टारगेट देख के प्रेशर आता है, टारगेट मेरे से हैंडल नहीं होता है, then you can go for HR. HR is also a part of marketing or sales, but you are going to sell your own company to your own employees. Okay, so say suppose you are into recruitment, you will start talking, okay, I'm calling from Tata Motors, you should join our firm because these are the HR benefits. You will get so much of leaves, you will get this is the pay package, and these are the things that you will get from the firm, etc., etc. You will start selling your own firm. So, and suppose there is a person, an employee who wish to move out of your company, then again you try to convince him or her so that he or she stays in the firm. You try to make better HR policies, you try to run a few events in companies. So it can be like a Diwali function, it can be like celebrating Dashera, it can be like celebrating Navratri. This is Navratri days, so celebrating Navratri, etc. So you try that the people, the employees like firm and they stay in the firm. Correct? Because money is not everything once you reach a particular stage. Okay? Money is not everything once you reach a particular stage. You want that you are respected, you are given a cooperative environment. So this is where HR comes into picture. Okay? So if you wish to stay at a particular place and still wish to and you still have convincing skills, then you can go and join HR. Now let me break a myth here. Generally, people think that marketing and sales is made for male and HR is made for female. So understand marketing and sales, a female can do a better marketing and sales. For example, like I'm an institute owner. अगर मेरे पास कोई एक फीमेल एग्जीक्यूटिव आती है जिसको सपोज लैपटॉप बेचना है, ठीक है, सपोज शी वर्क्स इन डेल एंड शी विश टू सेल हर लैपटॉप, तो मैं 2 मिनट सुनूंगा, ठीक है। वही अगर कोई बंदा आता है तो आई वुड नहीं यार मेरे को नहीं चाहिए डेल का लैपटॉप, मे बी मैं और लेडी एग्जीक्यूटिव से लैपटॉप खरीदूंगा नहीं, बट आई विल लिसन टू हर, समझ रहा है। तो दिस इज द इम्पैक्ट दैट इट क्रिएट्स, ठीक है। सो दिस इज अबाउट बीइंग माइनॉरिटी एंड विनिंग आउट ऑफ माइनॉरिटी. सो अ गर्ल can also go for marketing or sales, and a boy can also go for HR, because boys are also creative, so they can use their creative stuff and human resource. So ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि marketing and sales मेल के लिए बना है और HR फीमेल के लिए बना, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. It is again your interest level, ठीक है. Apart from this 3 basic specializations, the other specializations are international business. So if someone wishes to go into foreign trade, import export, के मेरे पापा का या मेरे parents का या मेरे family business is into import export, you can go for international business. Operation management, so operation management is mainly made for engineers. So again, operation management and supply chain management. So say suppose you are working in Amazon का तुम्हें पता होगा या फ्लिपकार्ट का तुम्हें पता होगा कि किस तरीके से वो एक प्लेस से लेके एक वेंडर से लेके पास ऑन करता है कस्टमर को. तो ये जो बीच का रूट होता है ये पूरा Amazon गवर्न करता है, ये पूरा मैनेज करता है, विच इज सप्लाई चेन मैनेजमेंट, कि किस तरीके से वो जाएगा, ठीक है. IT, if someone among you is from computer science background or information technology background, can go for IT or systems as a specialization. If someone among you is from rural area और लगता है कि यार मुझे मेरे एरिया को डेवलप करना है, उसको मुझे एक क्या कहते हैं एक पोजीशन पे लेके आना है जहाँ पे जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटीज हो, infrastructure ho, etc. So you can go for rural management as a course, you can go for business analytics as a course, again majorly made for science graduates, business analytics और data sciences इन दिनों काफी booming है. So for example जैसे Facebook है, Facebook तुम्हारे जब तुम Facebook एक्सेस करते हो तो Facebook तुम्हारे मोबाइल में या फिर कंप्यूटर में कुकीज छोड़ देता है. कुकीज छोड़ने से क्या होता है कि वो पता करता है कि तुम्हारा बिहेवियर कैसा है, तुम क्या क्या वेबसाइट्स एक्सेस करते हो, क्या क्या तुम देखते हो, उसके अकॉर्डिंगली वो तुम्हें एड्स थ्रो करता है. सपोज अगर तुम Amazon पे भी जाते हो तो फेसबुक से उनका लिंक है, फेसबुक में या Amazon ने तुम्हें स्टडी किया कि भाई तुम्हें एक मोबाइल चाहिए, तो तुम्हें मोबाइल का ही, अगर तुमने आईफोन सर्च किया होगा तो तुम्हें सिर्फ आईफोन के एड्स दिखने शुरू हो जाएंगे, ठीक है. सेकेंड इज अंडरस्टैंडिंग कंज्यूमर बिहेवियर, डेटा क्रंचिंग, ये सारी चीजें बिजनेस एनालिटिक्स में आ जाती है, and many more. So there are many MBA specializations out there. These are the basic specializations which you can look forward for. ठीक है. Now which are the top MBA colleges? चलो specialization हो गया, entrance हो गया. As I said earlier, पहले तुम्हें college decide करना है, फिर तुम्हें entrance decide. हाँ, पहले तुम्हें college decide करना है, फिर तुम्हें entrance decide करना है. So now let us look about the top MBA colleges of B schools. So this is the target 1 list. ठीक है, ये target 1 है. Here on the left hand side you will see the name of institutes. IIM A, which is Ahmedabad, IIM Bangalore, IIM Calcutta. So IIM is Indian Institute of Management. जैसे तुम लोगों ने IIT सुना होगा, IIT is Indian Institute of Technology, वैसे ये Indian Institute of Management है, तो ये मैनेजमेंट के इंस्टीट्यूट्स है, ठीक है. Apart from this, FMS Delhi, XLRI Jamshedpur, IIM Lucknow, MDI Gurgaon, JBIMS, SP Jain, and so on. So अगर मान लो मैं एज अ कैंडिडेट सोचता हूँ कि मुझे मुंबई में ही MBA करना है, अब मुंबई में कोई IIMs नहीं है, बराबर. मुंबई में अगर मुझे करना है तो मैं कौन से इंस्टीट्यूट टारगेट 1 से टारगेट कर सकता हूँ, जैसे JBIMS एंड SP. अब मुझे सोचना है कि अच्छा मेरे को अगर JBIMS में जाना है, बॉम्बे में ही करना है, तो मैं कौन से एंट्रेंस दूंगा, CET, बिकॉज आई एम अ मुंबई रेसिडेंट. I am pursuing my graduation, or I did my graduation from Mumbai University. तो CET is the path, ठीक है. कैट और CMAT भी है, लेकिन वो आउटसाइड महाराष्ट्र वाले कैंडिडेट्स के लिए है. SP Jain अगर मुझे जाना है तो कैट और जैट का एंट्रेंस देना पड़ेगा. यानी इन शॉर्ट, अगर मुझे टारगेट 1 कॉलेज में जाना है, अगर मुझे मुंबई में रहना है, तो मैं कैट, जैट और CET एज एन एंट्रेंस अपीयर करूंगा, ठीक है, मुझे IFT देने की जरूरत नहीं है, मुझे ZAT देने की जरूरत नहीं है, और कई सारी एंट्रेंसेस देने की जरूरत नहीं है, बिकॉज दिस आर द कॉलेजेस विच आई एम टारगेटिंग। आए ध्यान में, कॉलेज डिसाइड करो और फिर एंट्रेंस डिसाइड करो। This is the fee structure as you can see on the in second column and the average package that they offer. ठीक है, then this is target 2 list. Again you can filter the colleges which you wish to go into. जैसे वापस से मैं मुंबई पे आता हूँ कि मुंबई में मुझे करना है तो NMIMS हो गया, SJM SOM which is IIT मुंबई, तो IIT पवई में, जो पवई में अपना इंस्टीट्यूट है IIT मुंबई का, वहां पे SJM SOM which is शैलेश J मेहता स्कूल ऑफ मैनेजमेंट, ठीक है, वो इंस्टीट्यूट वहां पे तुम जा सकते हो। खाली एक चीज याद रखना, IITs में, IISC में, और यहाँ पे तुम्हें नीटी NITI करके एक इंस्टीट्यूट दिखेगा, ये सारे इंस्टीट्यूट्स का एलिजिबिलिटी क्राइटेरिया इज 4 ईयर ऑफ ग्रेजुएशन। 4 ईयर ऑफ ग्रेजुएशन मतलब इंजीनियर्स एलिजिबल है, इंजीनियर्स एलिजिबल है। तो IIT हो गया, नीटी हो गया, so engineers can only go in this institute. So if you are a non-engineer, you should not look for this institutes. ठीक है, apart from this, the institute like TES, IRMA, SIBM Pune. So SIBM Pune is Symbiosis Institute of Business Management. पुणे में एक यूनिवर्सिटी है, प्राइवेट यूनिवर्सिटी, सिम्बायोसिस यूनिवर्सिटी करके, काफी लोगों ने सुना भी होगा। उसके अंडर अराउंड 16 इंस्टीट्यूट्स आते हैं, जिसमें से टॉप इंस्टीट्यूट है SIBM। ठीक है, जैसे मुंबई यूनिवर्सिटी के, जिसके अंदर बहुत सारे कॉलेजेस आता है, एंड धानुकर कॉलेज उसमें से एक कॉलेज है, वैसे ही सिम्बायोसिस यूनिवर्सिटी है, उसके अंदर एक कॉलेज है जिसका नाम है SIBM। ठीक है, सो सिम्बायोसिस इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ बिजनेस मैनेजमेंट, दिस इज द इंस्टीट्यूट व्हिच यू कैन लुक फॉरवर्ड फॉर। एंड इफ आई वांट टू गेट इनटू SIBM, देन आई हैव टू अपीयर फॉर स्नैप एज एन एंट्रेंस। ठीक है, NMIMS में जाना है तो NMAT देना पड़ेगा, टेस्ट मुंबई में जाना है तो टेस्ट नेट देना पड़ेगा। सो एज पर द कॉलेज, एज पर द institute which you are targeting or the specialization which you are targeting, you will have to select the entrances। ठीक है, सो यहाँ पे मैंने टारगेट 1 और टारगेट 2 डाला है, वैसे ही टारगेट 3, 4, 5 करके भी है, जो मैं यहाँ पे नहीं बताऊँ, नहीं तो फिर अननेसेसरी ये एक्सटेंड हो जाएगा। एट द एंड ऑफ माय सेशन मैं तुम लोगों को मेरे वेबसाइट का URL दे दूंगा, और वहां पे तुम्हें सारे टारगेट 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 इंस्टीट्यूट्स दिख जाएंगे। यू कैन गो देयर, see all the institutes which are out in target 1, 2, 3, 4, 5। ठीक है, as of now I will wrap up till target 2। let's move on to the niche MBA programs। ठीक है, so these are the top 4 agribusiness management। so if you go on IIM Ahmedabad ka website, you will find different management courses which are out there। under full time course you will find 2 courses। ठीक है, first is a normal MBA or also known as PGP, and second is PGP in ABM or MBA in ABM। ABM is agribusiness management। so a student who is from agribusiness, agricultural background, who is from pharmaceutical background, who is from biotechnology background or any other science background, ठीक है, can go for this ABM course। so this ABM is provided in majorly 3 institutes, IIM Ahmedabad and IIM Lucknow, L is for Lucknow, and SIIB, so Symbiosis Institute of International Business। again second specialization at the bottom you will see international business। so institutes like IFT, institute like SIIB, MDI Gurgaon and KJ Somaiya have this specialization। so अगर मुझे import export में अपना करियर बनाना है तो मैं IB as a specialization choose करूंगा। IFT is Indian Institute of Foreign Trade, जैसे मैंने IIM बताया, IIT बताया, वो इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूट है, वैसे ही ये भी इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूट है लेकिन फॉरेन ट्रेड में। ठीक है, देन SIIB अगेन सिम्बायोसिस इंस्टीट्यूट। तो अगर तुम SIIB के वेबसाइट पे जाओगे तो तुम्हें एग्री बिजनेस मैनेजमेंट दिखेगा और इंटरनेशनल बिजनेस मैनेजमेंट दिखेगा। ठीक है, MDI गुड़गांव हो गया, KJ सोमैया जो मुंबई में है वहां पे भी होता है। देन सस्टेनेबल मैनेजमेंट, अगर तुम में से कोई है जो ग्रीन रेवोल्यूशन या फिर ऐसे तुम्हें गवर्नमेंट पॉलिसीज में इंटरेस्ट है जहां पे सस्टेनेबिलिटी कम्स इनटू पिक्चर। फॉर एग्जांपल थोड़ा साइंस है, मैं समझा देता हूं तुम लोगों को। जैसे तुम ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन का क्या होता है, जैसे तुम वाटर होता है, वाटर हमें पता है H2O होता है, H2O होता है, तो उसमें से अगर मैं हाइड्रोजन निकालूं जो इंडस्ट्रीज के काम में आता है, और बाद में हम उसको O2 के साथ मिक्स करके वापस से पानी बना सकते हैं. So this is where you are using water and you will be creating water again after its usage. तो ये हो गया सस्टेनेबल मैनेजमेंट. ठीक है, जहां पे तुमने नेचर को कोई नुकसान नहीं किया, तो उससे रिलेटेड चीजें तुम यहाँ पे बहुत सारी सीखते हो. ये तो मैं काफी टेक्निकल चला गया, वहां पे तुम्हें टेक्निकल स्टफ नहीं सिखाया जाएगा, बट जो बड़ी बड़ी कंपनीज है, अडानी हो गया, लिंडे इंजीनियरिंग हो गया, रिलायंस हो गया, जहां पे सस्टेनेबल मैनेजमेंट कम्स इनटू पिक्चर, तो यहाँ पे तुम्हें जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटीज हो सकती है. एकदम नीश एरिया है. किसी को अगर ऐसा है कि मुझे एकदम लाइफ में डिफरेंट करना है, तो तुम ये कोर्सेस एक्सप्लोर कर सकते हो. ठीक है, इवन यहाँ पे गवर्नमेंट फर्म्स रिक्रूटमेंट के लिए आते हैं. सो सस्टेनेबल मैनेजमेंट IIM अहमदाबाद में है, लखनऊ में है, XIMB में है, IIFM में है, तो यहाँ पे तुम एक्सप्लोर कर सकते हो. देन रूरल मैनेजमेंट, जैसे मैंने स्टार्टिंग में बताया था, इफ समवन अमंग यू विश टू develop your hometown or village, so you can go for rural management. IRMA is an institute. XIMB, which is in Bhubaneswar, is an institute. XISS, which is in Bhopal, is an institute. So these are the institutes which you can explore. Then media and communication, काफी सारे स्टूडेंट्स होते हैं जो BMM बैकग्राउंड के हैं, या ऐसे स्टूडेंट्स जिन्हें एडवर्टाइजिंग में करियर बनाना है, मास मीडिया में करियर बनाना है, then they can target this institutes. माइका, मुद्रा इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन एंड एडवर्टाइजिंग इन अहमदाबाद. तो अहमदाबाद में ये इंस्टीट्यूट है. माइका इज मेका, माइका इज मेका यानी टॉप मोस्ट इंस्टीट्यूट है वो स्टूडेंट्स के लिए जो एडवर्टाइजिंग में अपना करियर बनाना चाहते हैं. ब्रांड मैनेजमेंट हो गया, पर्सनल मैनेजमेंट हो गया. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे तुम माइका में जा सकते हो. सिम्बायसिस में भी एक इंस्टीट्यूट है बाय द नेम ऑफ SIMC. KJ सोमैया में भी एज एन मास मीडिया एक कोर्स होता है. हेल्थ केयर, अगर तुम में से कोई डॉक्टर है या कोई हेल्थ केयर बैकग्राउंड से है, ठीक है, या फार्मास्यूटिकल बैकग्राउंड से है, देन यू कैन एक्सप्लोर दिस इंस्टीट्यूट. स्टापमी व्हिच इज इन कर्नाटका, जिम गोवा इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ मैनेजमेंट गोवा. काफी स्टूडेंट मुझे कहते हैं कि सर गोवा जाके पढ़ना है, तो जिम में तुम जा सकते हो. ऑब्वियसली वहां पे जाके फन एक्टिविटी नहीं होने वाला है, बट यस यू विल लर्न अ लॉट फ्रॉम दिस इंस्टीट्यूट. टेस इज एन इंस्टीट्यूट व्हिच ऑफर्स अ हेल्थ केयर प्रोग्राम. HR, कुछ स्टूडेंट्स होते हैं जिन्हें HR में स्पेशलाइजेशन करना होता है, तो ऑब्वियसली IIMs तो है ही है, लेकिन HR ये इंस्टीट्यूट में 60 सीट्स फॉर HR स्टूडेंट इसको अलग से रखा है. ठीक है, सो यहाँ पे से तुम HR कर सकते हो. XLRI which is in जमशेदपुर, TES which is in मुंबई, IIM रांची, MDI, इवन NMIMS मुंबई में 60 स्टूडेंट्स का जो HR का बैच होता है वो एकदम अलग वे में ट्रीट होता है. Pharmaceutical management, you can go in NMIMS, you can go in SIS. ठीक है. Then construction or infra management, if someone among you is from civil background या electrical background, ठीक है, electrical engineering या civil engineering, then you can go for this institutes. NICMAR हो गया, UPES हो गया, SCMHRD हो गया. If someone among you is from EXTC background, telecom management करना चाहता है, तो IIT दिल्ली हो गया. SIDTM again a Symbiosis institute हो गया. तुम में से अगर कोई बिजनेस एनालिटिक्स या डेटा साइंस करना चाहता है, तो देयर इज अ सैंडविच कोर्स बाय 3 इंस्टीट्यूट्स, IIM कलकत्ता, ISI एंड IIT खड़गपुर. दे ऑफर PGDBA, तो तुम ये कोर्स वहां से परस्यू कर सकते हो. SCMHRD हो गया, SCIT होगा, अगेन 2 सिम्बायसिस इंस्टीट्यूट्स, यहाँ से तुम बिजनेस एनालिटिक्स परस्यू कर सकते हो. इफ समवन अमंग यू इज लाइक सर मेरे को फाइनेंस करना है लेकिन मुझे एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में नहीं घुसना है, ठीक है, मुझे क्वांटिटेटिव फाइनेंस सीखना है मेजरली, तो यू कैन गो फॉर MSc फाइनेंस व्हिच इज इन JBIMS व्हिच इन NMIMS. तो उनका खुद का एक अलग से एंट्रेंस होता है, वो अपीयर करके तुम JBIMS NMIMS में MSc इन फाइनेंस सीख सकते हो. ठीक है. Then engineers, if someone among you is an engineer, then you can go for IIT, you can go for IIC, you can go for NITI. There are few niche institutes. For example, NIBM is National Institute of Banking Management. Directly Reserve Bank of India, RBI directly ये institute govern करता है. So you can go for NIBM. If someone among you wish to go for insurance, so NIA is an institute. SIHS for hospital administration is an institute in India. So these are the niche institutes which again you can look forward for. Fine. Okay, now let's move on to the phase 2 part of this particular thing. Which is personality round. So personality round में this majorly has 2 things. First is group discussion and WAT. वैट इज जेनरिक ऐसे राइटिंग होता है, तुम्हें एक टॉपिक दे दिया, उस पर तुम्हें लिखना है 250, 300, 400 वर्ड्स का ऐसे, एंड देन यू हैव टू सबमिट. ग्रुप डिस्कशन क्या होता है? ग्रुप डिस्कशन is like there will be a group of 10-12 people. You will be given a topic and you have to discuss on it. ठीक है? Now, which are the traits which are going to be governed or which are going to be tested? पहला trait है communication skills, that you have to have a good communication skill. Second, you have to have a good content. You need to know about the subject. Third is whether you are a team member or not. Fourth is your leadership, etc., your attitude, your attire, etc. These are all going to be judged. ठीक है? So GD में let me give an example. Say suppose if I ask you to talk on Facebook. ठीक है? Facebook हमें पता है, Facebook के दूसरे डिविजन्स पता है, जैसे इंस्टाग्राम हो गए, व्हाट्सएप हो गया. अगर मैं किसी को एक लेमैन को पूछूं कि भाई व्हाट इज फेसबुक, टॉक ऑन इट, देन दे विल स्टार्ट टॉकिंग कि वो एक सोशल मीडिया वेबसाइट है जहाँ पे एडवर्टाइजिंग से रेवेन्यू जनरेट होता है. You can meet people, you can talk with people, you can post your videos, you can post your photos, you can be an influencer, etc. Now, as a company or as a person who is looking for MBA, you have to always think what happens behind the scene. Now, Facebook is no more a social media platform. ठीक है? It is now a metaverse. Metaverse क्या होता है? Metaverse is like they are now focused on AR and VR, which is more about visualization. So हमने एक स्टोरी सुनी होगी स्कूल डेज में, एलिस इन वंडरलैंड, है ना, जहाँ पे उसकी एक ख्याली दुनिया होती है और एलिस वहां पे रहती है. So this is what they are going to form. AR and VR are the technologies, ठीक है, जिसके थ्रू वो करना चाहते हैं, and they call themselves as metaverse. So metaverse में क्या होगा? You can create an environment, ठीक है, around you, which will be sorry, which will be as per your imagination. ठीक है? तुम्हारा एक खुद का एक एनवायरमेंट होगा कि भाई यहाँ पे झाड़ है तो वो चॉकलेट का बना हो, जो नदी बह रही है उसमें पानी नहीं, उसमें मिल्क जा रहा हो, एंड सो ऑन. यू कैन use your imagination and you can develop an environment around you. So that is metaverse. अभी तुम्हें पता होगा फेसबुक ने Ray-Ban के साथ टाई अप किया and they have come up with smart glasses. पहले स्मार्टफोन हुआ करता था, स्मार्ट टीवी आया, अब स्मार्ट ग्लासेस आया, हर कोई स्मार्ट होते जा रहा है. So smart glasses, so you can talk with people, you can post photos, you can post videos, etc. सब कुछ अब तुम्हारे सन ग्लासेस से हो जाएगा. So they are into hardware now. They have their own hardware जो तुम्हें शायद पता नहीं होगा, पोर्टल नाम से है. पोर्टल उनका एक हार्डवेयर है जो लैपटॉप या टैब जैसा होता है. ठीक है, वो सक्सेसफुल नहीं है इसलिए ज्यादा पता नहीं है, बट दे आर मच मोर देन जस्ट बीइंग अ सोशल मीडिया वेबसाइट. ठीक है? सो if you are sitting in GD and if you talk about all this thing, obviously your content is good, and before that you need to understand what happens behind the scenes. So if you start understanding what happens in corporate, you will start accumulating your knowledge. Let me give you another example. हमें पता है कि जेफ बेजोस अमेज़न का जो बंदा है उसने प्राइवेट स्पेस क्राफ्ट बनाया है और वो अभी स्पेस में गया था. करेक्ट? Now, as a layman, if you ask you कि भाई वो क्यों गया था, तो you would be like ये तो लग्जरी ट्रिप था, गया था, घूम के बंदा आ गया. नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है. ठीक है? यहाँ पे सिनारियो क्या है? वो ये देखने गया था कि स्पेस में मैं एडवर्टाइजमेंट कर सकता हूँ क्या. ये बंदे ने 20 साल पहले एक इंटरव्यू में बोला था कि ऐसा दिन आएगा जब लोग स्पेस में एडवर्टाइजमेंट करेंगे. सो एक दिन रात में तुम बैठे हो और स्पेस में तुम आसमान में देख रहे हो एंड यू विल सी, अरे कोको कोला का एड आ रहा है, अरे ये क्या हो गया. तो याद रखना जेफ बेजोस वो बंदा है जो उसके पीछे था. सो दिस इज द फ्यूचर. So as an entrepreneur, everyone looks for the future. They do not look for present. So this is what happens. So यहाँ पे क्या होता है, ये सारी चीजें कॉर्पोरेट में होती है. समझ रहे हो? So MBA तुम्हें बिल्ड करता है, स्लोली बिल्ड करता है ये सारी चीजों के लिए. 20 साल पहले तुम ये भी नहीं सोच सकते कि टेस्ला एज अ कंपनी ऑटोमेटेड ड्राइविंग होगा. तुम आज ये नहीं सोच सकते हो कि स्पेस में एडवर्टाइजमेंट होगा, लेकिन आज से 10 साल के या 20 साल के बाद स्पेस में एडवर्टाइजमेंट होगा. ठीक है? तो my point is there is so much to explore out there and MBA broadens your perspective. जो तुम्हारे पर्सपेक्टिव को एकदम खोल देता है, वो बोलता है कि हर चीज तुम ग्रास्प करो. ठीक है? So this is what is judged in GD, your content, your knowledge. Now moving on to personal interview. So this is like a normal interview, communication check hoga. What was your past? What are your aspirations? तुम्हें future में क्या करना है? तुम्हारा present, तुम्हारा past, तुम्हारे future को कैसे linked है? तुम्हें MBA क्यों करना है? Where do you want to see yourself 10 years down the line? And so on. So as a person, this personal interview is going to judge you. ठीक है? So this is personality round. Apart from this, कुछ institutes GD और VAT नहीं लेते हैं, वो लोग मैनेजमेंट गेम्स लेते हैं या ग्रुप एक्सरसाइज लेते हैं. सो दिस आर द पिक्स व्हिच वी हैड कंडक्टेड गेम्स फॉर आवर स्टूडेंट. एक्चुअली में हमने ये गेम्स कंडक्ट किए थे क्योंकि सिमिलर टाइप ऑफ गेम्स आर कंडक्टेड इन इंस्टीट्यूट्स. फॉर एग्जांपल सिम्बायोसिस. सो सिम्बायोसिस SIBM हो गया, SMHRD हो गया, वहां पे ग्रुप एक्सरसाइज होता है जहां पे इस टाइप के टास्क आते हैं. अगेन सिमिलर टू ग्रुप डिस्कशन, देयर विल बी अ ग्रुप ऑफ 10-12 पीपल who will be given a task and they will have to complete that task in a particular time. ठीक है? So how you communicate with your friends, how you convince them to complete this task, how you are able to manage if there are any issues in between, how do you improvise. ठीक है? So this all thing is judged in management games. So these are the two stages of selection. First was aptitude test, which is the entrance, and second is your personality round. Now, what is the syllabus? Coming back to the entrances, CAT, NMAT, SNAP, CMAT, CET, etc. This syllabus is more or less same. There are 3 topics which are taken care of. First is quantitative ability, which we generally call as maths. 10th level tak ka maths hota hai. Second is verbal ability and RC, which we generally call as English. And third is reasoning, logical reasoning and data interpretation. So logic ho gaya कि चाचा के मामा के दादा के पापा कौन हुए, kind of logic. ठीक है? सो ये सारी जज होती है. सो लेट मी गिव एन एग्जांपल. ठीक है, मैं उसका आंसर भी तुम्हें बताऊंगा. सो लेट मी गिव एन एग्जांपल. दिस इज एन एग्जांपल, सैंपल क्वेश्चन जो एक कोई तो एंट्रेंस में आया था, और दिस इन्वॉल्व्स अ पार्ट ऑफ मैथ्स एंड अ पार्ट ऑफ लॉजिक. सो क्वांटिटेटिव इसलिए हम उसको बोलते हैं बिकॉज इट इज अ पार्ट ऑफ मैथ्स एंड अ पार्ट ऑफ लॉजिक. सो लेट अस फर्स्ट अंडरस्टैंड द क्वेश्चन. देयर आर 64 प्लेयर्स playing a single tennis tournament of knockout format. तो सबसे पहले मैं knockout समझाता था. knockout simple language में जो हारा वो बाहर. So if there are 2 players, one is a winner, second is loser. So the one who loses the game will be out of the game. ठीक है? So this is what we call as knockout. So there are 64 players, a single tennis tournament. So obviously there will be 2 people who will be playing against each other. Knockout tournament. The question is, how many matches will be played in the entire tournament? तो टूर्नामेंट है मतलब उसमें सेमीफाइनल, क्वार्टर फाइनल, फाइनल और फाइनली एक विनर होगा. तो कितने टोटल मैचेस प्ले हो गए, कितने टोटल मैचेस प्ले हो गए. ठीक है? सो बिफोर आई टेल यू द आंसर, बिफोर आई टेल यू द मेथड, आई वांट टू गिव यू 60 सेकंड्स. ट्राई करो कि तुम इसको क्रैक कर पा रहे हो या नहीं. ठीक है? थिंक अबाउट इट एंड पोस्ट योर आंसर इन यूट्यूब चैट बॉक्स. ठीक है? वहां से मैं तुम्हें चेक करता हूं. Fine. Think. I will give you 60 seconds to think on it. Keep thinking. What can be the answer for this question? I will take your questions at the end, guys. Do not worry. $62. Okay, Tanisha. Let's wait for other. Apply your maths, basic maths. 10th level तक का ही maths होता है, कोई बड़ा नहीं है. नम्रता 62, शुभम 72. शुभम 72 तो नहीं होगा क्योंकि अगर 64 प्लेयर्स है तो 64 एक्सीड कभी नहीं करेगा. रीचेक योर कैलकुलेशन, कहीं कुछ गड़बड़ी हुई होगी. ओके, 62. I'm not sure if you have really got this answer as 62 or you're just copying Tanisha or Namrata's answer. But anyways, I will give a benefit of doubt. Let us assume that you tried and you got 62, but 62 is not the correct answer. So rethink. 62 is not the correct answer. Rethink. Apply basic maths. and logic. Yes, logic is also important. Okay. Amy says 63. Harsh says 32. Keep going. Kaya says 63. Namrata 16. So Namrata has changed her answer. Sambhavi 32. Okay, चलो ठीक है, मैं आंसर बता देता हूँ. One among you have correctly, two among you have correctly said the answer. So अब इसमें मेथड क्या होगी? देखो, अगर 64 प्लेयर्स है, दो लोग खेल रहे हैं, एक यहाँ पे एक यहाँ पे, करेक्ट. टेनिस टूर्नामेंट है, सिंगल्स है, एक यहाँ पे. सपोज ये विनर है तो ये लूजर हो गया, तो ये बाहर हो गया, बराबर. तो अगर 64 प्लेयर्स है तो 32 मैचेस हो गए सबसे पहले, है ना. तो सबसे पहले 32 मैचेस हो गए. अब ये जो 32 प्लेयर्स है, ये जो 32 प्लेयर्स जो जीते हैं, ये वापस से कॉम्पीट करेंगे, है ना. तो अगर वापस से कॉम्पीट करेंगे तो 16 और मैचेस हो जाएगी, बराबर. अब जो 16 इसमें विनर्स हो गए, क्योंकि 16 मैचेस हो रहे हैं, 16 लूज करेंगे मैच और 16 विन करेंगे मैच, तो वो 16 और आगे जाएंगे, तो वहां पे वापस से 8 मैचेस होगी. देन उसके बाद क्वार्टर फाइनल 4 मैचेस होगी, फिर सेमीफाइनल 2 मैचेस होगी, और फिर एक फाइनल होगा जिसमें एक विनर निकल के आएगा. सो योर फाइनल आंसर विल बी 32 प्लस 16 प्लस 8 प्लस 4 प्लस 2 प्लस 1, which will come out as 63. So there will be total 63 matches. ठीक है. I hope you are able to understand 63 मैचेस कैसे हो गए. अब इसमें मैं एक तुम्हें शॉर्टकट बताता हूँ, लॉजिक लगाता है, मैच नहीं लॉजिक लगाता. 64 प्लेयर्स है, 64 प्लेयर्स में से विनर कितना होगा? एक. लूजर कितने हो गए? 63. नॉकआउट टूर्नामेंट, तो जो हारा वो बाहर, करेक्ट. तो ये 63 प्लेयर्स हारेंगे कब? जब उन्होंने एक एक मैच खेला होगा, यानी टोटल 63 मैचेस हुए होंगे, है ना. तो एंटायर टूर्नामेंट में एक विनर बनाने के लिए 63 मैचेस हो गए, सो दैट 63 प्लेयर्स बाहर निकल जाए और एक विनर बने. समझा? सो दिस इज व्हाट हैपेंस इन एमबीए एंट्रेंसेस और क्वांटिटेटिव एबिलिटी, हेंस वी डू नॉट कॉल इट एज मैथ्स. यहाँ पे तुम्हारा मैथ स्किल भी चेक होगा और यहाँ पे तुम्हारा लॉजिक भी चेक होगा, ठीक है. तो दोनों चीज तुम्हें साइमल्टेनियसली लेके चलनी होगी. ओके. सो व्हिच आर द टॉपिक्स? सिलेबस क्या है? क्वांटिटेटिव एबिलिटी, एज आई सेड, मैथ्स और 10th लेवल तक का मैथ्स, बिकॉज साइंस स्टूडेंट इज गोइंग टू अपीयर फॉर कैट, कॉमर्स स्टूडेंट इज गोइंग टू अपीयर फॉर मैथ, आर्ट स्टूडेंट इज गोइंग टू अपीयर फॉर मैथ. तो मैथ कौन से लेवल, सॉरी, मैथ कौन से लेवल का? 10th लेवल तक का मैथ्स. परसेंटेज, नंबर सिस्टम, अलजेब्रा, ज्योमेट्री, परम्यूटेशन, कॉम्बिनेशन, तो स्टैटिस्टिक्स हो गया, सेट थ्योरी हो गया, एडवांस अरिथमेटिक हो गया, अरिथमेटिक हो गया, ये सारे टॉपिक्स क्वांटिटेटिव एबिलिटी में आते हैं. Then second is verbal ability और RC. जैसे मैंने स्टार्टिंग में बताया, इट इज ऑल अबाउट इंग्लिश. सो इंग्लिश में क्या आता है? वोकैबुलरी, सिनोनिम्स, एंटोनिम्स, ग्रामर, फिलिंग द ब्लैंक्स, रीडिंग कॉम्प्रिहेंशन, ये सारी चीजें इंग्लिश में आती है जो यहाँ पे जज की जाएगी. एंड थर्ड इज लॉजिकल रीजनिंग एंड डेटा इंटरप्रिटेशन, तो जहां पे तुम्हें लॉजिक लगाना है. सो पजल्स, अरेंजमेंट के सेट हो गए, नंबर सीरीज, अल्फाबेटिकल सीरीज, डेटा इंटरप्रिटेशन में हो गया, पाई चार्ट हो गया, लाइन ग्राफ हो गया, बार ग्राफ हो गया, ये सारी चीजें यहाँ पे जज होती है, ठीक है. सो दिस आर द 3 मेन एरियाज which is going to judge your aptitude part. The MBA entrances का syllabus will consist of this 3 part: quantitative ability, verbal, which is English, and third is LRDA, which is logical reasoning and data interpretation. कुछ entrances में like test, CMAT, ये कुछ entrances है जिसमें जनरल अवेयरनेस भी आता है, ठीक है, जिसमें जनरल अवेयरनेस भी आता है. तो ये चीजें भी यहाँ पे जज हो सकती है, ठीक है. आया ध्यान में? तो वो कुछ एंट्रेंसेस में, कैट में नहीं है, एनमैट में नहीं है, सीईटी में जीके नहीं है, ये सिलेबस ही है. सबका पेपर पैटर्न अलग है, ठीक है, और सबका कितने मिनट का पेपर होता है, कितने क्वेश्चंस होते हैं, ये सबका अलग अलग अपना judging criteria, ठीक है. So what I can recommend you, so this is all that I wanted to tell you, and now I will address your queries. If you have any further queries, you can get in touch with me on this number, you can email me, and this is my website preptest.com. तो तो preptest.com पे you will find all the target colleges जो मैंने तुम्हें स्टार्टिंग में बताया. You will find you can download free paper in PDF format के CAT का पेपर कैसा था, NMAT का पेपर कैसा था. You can download our brochure और वहाँ पे हमने बताया कि किस एंट्रेंस में क्या क्या सिलेबस है, पेपर पैटर्न कितना है, कितने आर का पेपर है, कितने क्वेश्चंस है एंड सो ऑन. ये सारी चीजें भी तुम्हें वहाँ पे वो वेबसाइट पे मिल जाएगी. ठीक है. एंड इफ यू हैव एनी क्वेरीज यू कैन एनी टाइम गेट इन टच विथ मी ऑन दिस नंबर. So that's it from my side, guys. Let me take your queries now. So as I can see on your on the YouTube, how much GMAT entrance?
Thank you so much, sir. Your word of experience have been truly informative for us. Our students are eagerly waiting with some questions. Sir, with your kind permission, can we go ahead with question answer session?
Yeah, but I will take it. I can see it on YouTube channel. So let me take the questions.
Okay, sir.
So how much GMAT entrance valuable in India, sir? See, GMAT, if you want to go for GMAT, you should always target for abroad. That too. So first decide on university. जैसे इंडिया में मैंने बताया पहले कॉलेज डिसाइड करो और फिर एंट्रेंस. सेम गोज फॉर GMAT. पहले GMAT पे मत टूट पड़ो, पहले पता करो यूनिवर्सिटी कौन सा है, उसका एलिजिबिलिटी क्राइटेरिया. हो सकता है तुम्हें GMAT देना ही ना पड़े. जस्ट बेस्ड ऑन योर इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज विच इज TOEFL और IELTS यू विल गेट सिलेक्टेड. ठीक है. तो पहले पता करो यूनिवर्सिटी कौन सा है, उसका एलिजिबिलिटी क्राइटेरिया क्या है और फिर अपीयर करो. अगेन इफ यू वांट टू गो फॉर GMAT, मेजरली टारगेट अब्रॉड. इंडिया में एक ही कॉलेज है जहां पे वो काम में आएगा, विच इज ISB इन हैदराबाद. ठीक है. Could you please speak something about MIM, MIB as well executive MBA? Beta, that will take another 60 minutes of seminar. We can think about it in future. As of now, मैं वो सारी चीजें नहीं ले सकता. But in short, मैं बता देता हूँ. MIM is for freshers, MBA is for experience in abroad. इंडिया में ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. इंडिया में सब चलता है. So MIM, MIB is for freshers. ज्यादा कुछ फर्क नहीं है, सब कुछ MBA ही है. Sir, can tests be applied by normal graduates other than engineering? Yes, anyone can apply for tests. Can you elaborate on your question? Namrata, okay, ठीक है. I want to know about executive MBA in India. Namrata, if you want to go in executive MBA, there are many options out there. Few institutes ask for 3 years of work ex, few institutes ask for 5 years of experience. Institutes like ISB or IIMs have an average class experience of 10 years. ठीक है. So you will have to visit the institute website, look for their eligibility criteria, the entrances that they are taking for, and then apply for their executive program. What is better, IIM Indore IPM course or NMIMS integrated MBA course? Obviously IIM Indore, anytime. GMAT entrance acceptance in India, as I said earlier, Namrata. Thank you so much. Sir, MyCat's portion include. अच्छा, Tanisha, this is very good question. MyCat, अब मैं पहले MyCat का बता देता हूँ. 20% of the scoring is dependent on CAT and XAT. So either you appear for CAT or you appear for XAT. You have to appear for this national level entrance. Once you have appeared, then you can go for MyCat as the entrance. MyCat में majorly judging criteria होता है descriptive. तो उसमें descriptive test होता है, aptitude test होता है, which is MCQ, and उसमें psychometric test होता है. तो यहाँ पे जो tension level है वाली बात है वो है descriptive. तो जहाँ पे तुम्हें essay लिखना होता है, एक question रहेगा और तुम्हें उसके ऊपर elaborated answer लिखना होता है. ठीक है. So this is what going to be judged in MyCat. Sir, for executive MBA, is there an institute which will provide good campus selection? Now, see, it depends. There are multiple names of executive MBA. So, executive MBA full-time 1-year executive MBA होता है और दूसरा होता है MDP, which is Management Development Program. So, MDP में generally placements नहीं होते हैं, campus selection नहीं होता है. Executive program में campus selection होता है और बहुत अच्छा होता है. ठीक है. Again, it depends on institute, varies from institute to institute. So IIMs, ISB, NMIMS, SPJ, सब में अलग अलग campus selection होगा as per the name and as per the course that they are teaching. So again, you will have to go and visit their own website and will have to look forward for it. एग्जीक्यूटिव एमबीए का खाली एक ही डिसएडवांटेज है कि वो बहुत एक्सपेंसिव होता है. ऑब्वियसली वो लोग ट्रीट भी उस तरीके से करते हैं, लेकिन वो बहुत एक्सपेंसिव हो जाता है. सो फी स्ट्रक्चर भी एक बार कंसिडर कर लेना रोहिणी. ओके, एनी अदर क्वेरीज गाइस?
Yes, sir. We have received few more questions.
हाँ.
What are the winning strategies for being successful in personality test?
काफी जेनरिक क्वेश्चन है. इसके लिए ना मैं तुम लोग को एक सिंपल सी चीज बताता हूँ, एक एग्जांपल देता हूँ. मिरर के सामने हम खड़े होते हैं. मिरर के सामने जब हम खड़े होते हैं तो हम देखते हैं कि हमारे बाल बराबर है, क्या हमारे चेहरे पे प्रॉपर्ली ग्लो कर रहा है. गर्ल्स चेक करती है कि कान के झुमके या फिर लिपस्टिक बराबर लगा है या नहीं. तो हम पता करते हैं कि हम में वीकनेस क्या है. करेक्ट. तो पर्सनल इंटरव्यू के लिए भी तुम्हें यही चेक करना है कि तुम में वीकनेस क्या है. क्या कम्युनिकेशन स्किल तुम्हारा इशू है, क्या स्टेज फियर तुम्हारा इशू है, क्या तुम लोगों को देख के नर्वस हो जाते हो और बोल नहीं पाते हो, या तुम्हारे पास कंटेंट ही नहीं है, बोलने के लिए ही कुछ नहीं है. ठीक है, कई बार कुछ ऐसे लोग होते हैं जिनके पास बोलने के लिए ही कुछ नहीं होता है. सो व्हेन आई आस्क माय स्टूडेंट व्हाई डू यू वांट टू गो फॉर एमबीए, देन दे आर लाइक सर करियर अच्छा है. I mean, this is not the answer to do an MBA. You are now 20-year-old, correct? So you need to have a matured answer. तो पहले तुम तुम्हारे वीकनेस पता करो. जैसे तुम्हें वीकनेस पता कर गए, फिर उसके बाद सिंपल सा एक वेबसाइट है google.com, बेसिकली सर्च इंजन, उसमें डालो और तुम्हें पता चल जाएगा. सो इफ सपोज यू आर वीक इन कम्युनिकेशन, हाउ कैन आई इंप्रूव माई कम्युनिकेशन? यूट्यूब वीडियोस है, वो देखो, समझो, रीड करो, मिरर के सामने खड़े रह के बोलो, बात करो, नॉवेल्स पढ़ो, न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ो, पॉडकास्ट सुनो, उसको रिपीट करो. समझ रहे हो? इंग्लिश मूवीज देखो टाइटल के साथ, उसको रिपीट करो सब टाइटल के साथ, तो ताकि तुम्हारा इंग्लिश कम्युनिकेशन इंप्रूव. अगर स्टेज डेयरिंग प्रॉब्लम है, आई कांटेक्ट प्रॉब्लम है, तो अगर मान लो तुम्हारे सामने कोई बंदा बैठा है और तुम आंख में नहीं देख सकते, तो उसके यहाँ पे देखो या नाक पे देखो. तो इससे क्या होगा, तुम उसके आंख में नहीं देख रहे हो तो तुम डर नहीं रहे हो, और सामने वाले को ऐसा लगेगा कि तुम उसके आंख में देख रहे हो. करेक्ट. तो तुम्हारा भी पर्पस सॉल्व हो गया, सामने वाले का भी पर्पस सॉल्व हो गया. तो पहले अपना वीकनेस पता करो, समझ रहे हो? उसके बाद फिर उसके सॉल्यूशंस ढूंढो. ओके.
Sir, then there is one more question.
Yeah.
Currently, we have too many short-term online courses. So, can you guide few courses which can add value to the CV during MBA interviews?
देखो, एज एन इंटरव्यूअर मैं भी जब इंटरव्यूज लेता हूँ, मैं कोर्स पे ज्यादा स्ट्रेस नहीं करता हूँ, मैं उसके एप्लीकेबिलिटी पे कोर्स स्ट्रेस करता है. फिर एग्जाम्पल, अगर मान लो तुम सीए परस्यू कर रहे हो और तुम आर्टिकलशिप कर रहे हो, करेक्ट. कुछ स्टूडेंट्स होते हैं जो सीपीटी पे छोड़ देते हैं, आईपीसीसी पे छोड़ देते हैं, लेकिन आर्टिकलशिप करते हैं. तो मेरा क्वेश्चन सबसे पहला वही होता है कि तुमने आर्टिकलशिप में क्या सीखा. ठीक है. एंड इफ यू आर लाइक के सर मैं तो जाके जेरोक्स निकालता था, मैं तो जाके फ्रैंकिंग करता था, कस्टमर से कभी इंटरैक्ट नहीं किया, खाली जाके अकाउंट्स टैली करता था, तो दिस इज नॉट अ स्किल विच आई एम लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड फॉर इन एन एमबीए एस्पायरेंट. मे बी वो सीए के लिए काम में आएगा, मे बी वो फाइनेंस एज अ और हार्ड स्किल काम में आएगा, लेकिन एज एन एमबीए वो मेरे काम में है. बट इफ यू आर लाइक मैंने पर्सनली एक क्लाइंट का जीएसटी फाइल किया है, उसका कंपनी मैंने पूरा समझा है, मैंने वो पर्सनली वो बंदे का आईटीआर फाइल किया है, देन आई वुड बी इंटरेस्टेड इन यू बिकॉज यू वुड बी नोइंग पर्सनल फाइनेंसेस. समझ रहे हो? Similarly, if suppose you did a course in digital marketing, if someone among you is interested in digital marketing, बहुत सारे शॉर्ट टर्म कोर्सेज अवेलेबल है डिजिटल मार्केटिंग, लेकिन उसको अप्लाई नहीं किया, समझ रहे हो? उसको अप्लाई नहीं किया तो कोई वैल्यू नहीं है. ठीक है. सो शॉर्ट टर्म कोर्सेज तुम ले सकते हो एज पर योर इंटरेस्ट. तुम माइक्रोसॉफ्ट एक्सेल, एडवांस माइक्रोसॉफ्ट एक्सेल सीख सकते हो. तुम जैसे सीएफपी कोर्स सर ने पहले बताया, चावला सर ने पहले बताया, तुम सीएफपी एज अ कोर्स परस्यू कर सकते हो साइमल्टेनियसली विथ योर ग्रेजुएशन. तुम क्या कहते हैं, अगर मार्केटिंग में जाना है तो डिजिटल मार्केटिंग कोर्स परस्यू कर सकते हो. तो बहुत सारे कोर्सेस और जो परस्यू कर सकते हो, लेकिन उसको अप्लाई करो बेटा. जब तक हम अप्लाई नहीं करोगे उसका कोई यूजफुलनेस नहीं है. उससे अच्छा मैं रिकमेंड करता हूँ कि तुम पार्टिसिपेट करो कॉम्पिटिशन्स पे. जैसे मान लो कि एनएमआईएमएस में या फिर केसी कॉलेज में या फिर कोई और कॉलेज में, जीवीएस कॉलेज में कोई कंपटीशन होता है, एंड इफ यू आर इंटरेस्टेड इन एलोक्यूशन, यू आर इंटरेस्टेड इन डांस, फैशन डिजाइनिंग या फैशन शो में इंटरेस्ट हो, तो वहां जाके पार्टिसिपेट करो। जब तुम जीत के आते हो, जब तुम्हारे हाथ में विनिंग का सर्टिफिकेट होता है, ट्रॉफी होता है, तो आई एम गोइंग टू अप्रिशिएट दैट बिकॉज यू आर अ कॉम्पिटिटिव पर्सन। और एमबीए में या कॉर्पोरेट में कॉम्पिटिटिव पर्सन की बहुत वैल्यू है, ठीक है। सो वो चीज करो। ओके, सो मैं एग्जैक्टली तुम्हें नहीं बता सकता हूँ, यू मे कॉन्टैक्ट मी ऑन माई गिवन नंबर। एग्जैक्टली मैं नहीं बता सकता हूँ बिकॉज आई डू नॉट नो योर प्रोफाइल एंड योर इंटरेस्ट। सो यू कैन गो एंड डू एनी ऑफ द शॉर्ट टर्म कोर्स, लेकिन उसको अप्लाई करो, राइट।
Sir, then there is questions on YouTube.
Hmm.
For taking into IM, is your 10th and 12th grade matters? Means we required 90%. Is it true? Or is the CAT score only important?
अब देखो बेटा, इसमें 20 IIMs है, ठीक है। There are 20 IIMs in India. So if we have segregated it into 3 parts. First is older IIM, then new IIM, and then baby IIM. अगर तुम्हें IIMs में जाना है तो तुम्हारा 12th उतना मैटर नहीं करेगा, ठीक है। तुम्हारा कैट का स्कोर और इंटरव्यू का स्कोर मैटर करेगा, विच इज सेकंड स्टेज ऑफ सिलेक्शन। अगर तुम्हें ओल्डर IIMs में जाना है, इफ यू आर लाइक IIM A में जाना है, तो IIM A is going to judge on your overall personality. तो अगर तुम किताबी कीड़े हो, 95% लाइक 10th 12th ग्रेजुएशन में और बहुत अच्छा किया हुआ है, तो IIM A तुम्हें सिलेक्ट नहीं करने वाला है। IIM B तुम्हें सिलेक्ट करेगा क्योंकि उन्हें वो टाइप के लोग पसंद है, ठीक है। तो डिपेंडिंग अपॉन विच IIM यू आर टारगेटिंग, उसके हिसाब से तुम्हें तुम्हारा प्रोफाइल डेवलप करना पड़ेगा। नाउ कमिंग बैक टू द क्वेश्चन, 10 12 में 90% होना जरूरी है? नहीं, अगर तुम्हें कम है, ठीक है। फिर एग्जाम्पल, एक इंजीनियर है, इंजीनियर के लिए एक इंजीनियरिंग सीईटी होता है, तो जब वो स्टूडेंट या मेडिकल स्टूडेंट है, जब वो मेडिकल का सीईटी देता है, नीट हो गया या महाराष्ट्र का सीईटी हो गया, जब वो सीईटी देते हैं तो वो 12th पे फोकस नहीं करते, जिसकी वजह से उनका 12th कम आता है, ठीक है। तो हो सकता है 12th में 60-65 मिला, लेकिन उन्होंने एंट्रेंस में टॉप मारा हुआ है, ठीक है, जिसकी वजह से वो एक अच्छे कॉलेज में है। तो तुम्हारा कॉलेज का परसेंटेज मैटर करेगा, तुम्हारा नॉलेज मैटर करेगा, और उसके बेस पे IIMs तुम्हें जज करेंगे। So it is not necessary, it is not a compulsion that you need to have 90%. Even if you have 70-70, you can go for IIMs. So baby IIMs हो गए, new IIMs हो गए, जो even तुम्हें 85% पे एडमिशन मिलेगा। मेरे एक स्टूडेंट को लास्ट ईयर 87 परसेंटाइल पे, कैट में 87 परसेंटाइल में उसको 3 IIM से कन्वर्जन आए। तो ये इंस्टीट्यूट्स भी तुम ले सकते हो, तो 90% इज नॉट नेसेसरी सर, बट यस, मोर द मेरियर, एज आई सेड अर्लियर, जितने ज्यादा परसेंट हो उतनी अच्छी बात है। सर, एनी प्रेफरेबल बुक्स फॉर कैट एंट्रेंस एंड शुड वी जॉइन क्लासेस फॉर एंट्रेंस? Tanisha, it depends on you. If you are aware about the syllabus, if you know that you are disciplined enough to follow the pattern, go through the lecture, go through the syllabus, you do not need any doubt solving, then you can learn by own. If you need any classes, so we are CPLC is a classes which train student for MBA entrances. So you can go and visit our website, you can attend a demo, and then you can decide on whether you want to join classes or not. ठीक है। सो जनरली व्हाट आई फील एज अ जनरिक 90-95% क्राउड को तो मैं जनरली रिकमेंड करता हूँ कि क्लासेस ज्वाइन करो, क्योंकि ये ऐसा सिलेबस है जो तुम्हें कॉलेज में नहीं पढ़ाया जाता है। एप्टीट्यूड इज नॉट टॉट टू मेजॉरिटी ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स इन कॉलेज, तो क्लासेस लगाना जरूरी हो जाता है। कैन वी डू MBA आफ्टर कंप्लीटिंग प्रोफेशनल कोर्सेज? यस, आई हैव स्टूडेंट्स हु आर CA, who are CFA, who are even doctors. So yes, you can complete professional course and then you can go for MBA. Okay, Namrata, thank you so much. Fulwali ma'am had also put a question. There is any specific institute for advertising MBA? Yes, ma'am, there is a specific institute, MICA. As I said, MICA is in Ahmedabad, Mudra Institute of Communication and Advertising. Then SIMC, Symbiosis Institute of Media and Communication. So there are specific institutes in India for advertising. Can we take admission after commerce graduation? Yes, obviously. I mean, if we are talking about college admission, you can do masters only after your graduation. You can take admission after your commerce graduation. Yes, you may, Mrunmai. or do we have to complete our? No, not at all necessary. See, MCOM and MBA are parallel things. So either you pursue MCOM or you go for MBA. MCOM लेके MBA करके फायदा नहीं है, MBA करके MCOM लेके फायदा नहीं है, क्योंकि 2 मास्टर डिग्री का करोगे क्या तो, समझ रहे हो? उससे अच्छा तुम MBA कर लो कॉमर्स के बाद, तुम्हें MCOM करना कोई जरूरी नहीं है. So really, I'm really privileged. Thank you for today's webinar. Thank you so much, Rajendra ji. Sir, what entrance exam we choose if we face financial problems? See, beta, as I said on my website, I have given the names of institutes in targets. तो इंस्टीट्यूट लाइक FMS दिल्ली है जो कैट का स्कोर एक्सेप्ट करता है, उसका फीस सिर्फ 25,000 है साल का. देन इंस्टीट्यूट लाइक JBMS मुंबई में जिसका 6 लाख फी है 2 साल का. टेस है जिसका 2 लाख रुपया या लाख रुपया फी है 2 साल के MBA का. तो ये इंस्टीट्यूट्स है विच यू कैन लुक फॉरवर्ड फॉर. और वैसे भी अगर तुम्हें कोई अच्छा इंस्टीट्यूट मिलता है, रेप्यूटेड इंस्टीट्यूट मिलता है, तो बैंक भी तुम्हें लोन देता है, एजुकेशन लोन. सो अगर IIMS या कोई ऐसा इंस्टीट्यूट, NMIMS ऐसा इंस्टीट्यूट है जिसका फीस बहुत ज्यादा है, देन यू कैन अवेल एजुकेशन लोन, क्योंकि आगे जाके फ्यूचर में जब तुम जॉब करते हो तो तुम्हें वहां पे एग्जेम्पशन भी मिलता है education loan का. Sir, which entrance exam we choose if we ever? So thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much, Kirti. Okay.
Sir, even I have one more question, sir.
Yeah, ma'am.
That is a IIFT, where the MBA students want to do, but is it costly?
IIFT is at par with IIMS, would be a light lesser than IIMS. So I can again show the website. So costly as in there will be a cost. So you can see IIFT here. So it says 16 lakhs. Abhi maybe wo ho gaya hoga 17 or 18 lakhs for 2 years.
Thank you, sir.
See, ma'am, one more thing, or students, one more thing. मुझे पता है फीस बहुत ज्यादा है, बट अगर तुम करियर पर्सपेक्टिव देखो, मैं तुम्हें एक एग्जांपल देता हूँ. मेरा एक स्टूडेंट 2014 में उसने IIFT ज्वाइन किया, 2016 में वहां से वो पास आउट हुआ. नाउ ही इज वर्किंग इन अफ्रीका एंड ही इज द प्रेसिडेंट फॉर द कंपनी. ठीक है, खुद का एक पर्सनल बंगलो है जो कंपनी ने उसको दिया है, कार दिया है, शॉफर दिया हुआ है, और बहुत सारे प्रिविलेजेस कंपनी ने दिए. और पैसा जो उसके अकाउंट में बिल्ड होते जा रहा है वो अलग है. ठीक है, सो पॉइंट मेरा ये है कि जो प्लेसमेंट एट द एंड तुम्हें मिलता है, या जो करियर अपॉर्चुनिटी तुम्हें फ्यूचर में मिलता है, वो बहुत वास्ट होता है. स्टूडेंट्स अंडरस्टैंड वन थिंग, दैट यू आर गेटिंग एन एजुकेशन. जैसे तुम अभी ग्रेजुएशन कर रहे हो, अगर मैं सोचूं कि अब जैसे कई बार स्टूडेंट मेरे को पूछते हैं कि सर रिटर्न ऑन इन्वेस्टमेंट क्या है, तो अगर मैं यहाँ पे देखूं IIM 17 लाख में मेरे को 20 लाख का पैकेज देते हैं, एंड दे आर लाइक यार 17 पे 20, 3 लाख ही ज्यादा है. बट ये मत सोचो, ये सोचो तुम ये जो MBA का नॉलेज है, ठीक है, ये तुम अगले 40 साल यूज करने वाले हो. तो अगले 40 साल में तुम कितना कमाने वाले हो वो सोचो, कंपेयर टू द फीस दैट यू आर गोइंग टू इन्वेस्ट नाउ. ठीक है, कुछ स्टूडेंट्स को मैं मानता हूँ कि पेरेंट्स को कुछ बैंक लोन नहीं मिलता है या नहीं ले सकते, या रीपे करने में इश्यूज होता है, तो देयर आर इंस्टीट्यूट जो काफी कम फीस में स्टूडेंट्स को लेते हैं. लेकिन अगर तुम्हें IIFT एज एन इंस्टीट्यूट मिलता है, IIMS एज एन इंस्टीट्यूट मिलता है, SP जैन एज एन इंस्टीट्यूट मिलता है, JBMS एज एन इंस्टीट्यूट मिलता है, तो प्लीज 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 ले लो. बर्डन रहेगा, फैमिली मेंबर से पैसा मांग लो, लेकिन ले लो अगर तुम्हें ये अपॉर्चुनिटीज मिलती है, क्योंकि फ्यूचर जो तुम्हारा बनेगा, दैट विल बी फार मोर ब्राइटर देन व्हाट यू कैन इमेजिन नाउ. Okay, so thank you so much everyone. If anyone has any query, can get in touch with me, and please fill up the feedback form which sir has already shared with you. Somnath sir, is it being shared?
It will be, sir.
So can I share with the students?
We'll be sharing it in the YouTube. No problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
So guys, please give your genuine feedback, and thank you so much for listening to me. You can anytime contact me on the given details. And if you have any queries, please visit my website. And thank you so much again, Dr. Kanchan, Mali and Somnath sir for giving me an opportunity to conduct this
Thank you.
session, and all the
Thank
staff
you, sir.
members. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. So,
Thank you, sir, for such a great talk and question answer session. Now, I would like to hand it over to Mr. Somnath to address the audience. Over to you, Mr. Somnath.
I'm audible, right? I'm audible, right? Yeah. Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. It's my proud privilege to propose a vote of thanks now after a very intellectually stimulating session in terms of career and career prospects. So on behalf of Internal Quality Assurance Cell, Department of Commerce and Department of English of PTVS M.L.Dahanukar College of Commerce, I, Somnath Ramendra Deshmukhya, extend my heartfelt gratitude to all those who have made this webinar a grand success. At the outset, I express my gratitude to the management of our college for granting us the permission to conduct this webinar. I'm extremely grateful to our first resource person, Mr. Ravinder Singh Chawla, for sharing his insights on the job prospects in banking and insurance sector. In his lecture, he has highlighted various facets related to banking and insurance and related ways to be job ready. Sir's insightful rejoinders and question answers were equally effective, and we were certain that it served the purpose of the webinar fully. Thank you indeed, sir. Also, the resource person who's spoken, elaborated on various aspects of management, Mr. Vishesh Nadiana, his deliberations on avenues related to the field of management, surely of great significance for those who would be embarking onto the journey of business administration. His panoramic description of various institutions of management and their related entrances gave a beneficial orientation to those who wish to take up various management courses, be it courses like finance, marketing, HR, agrarian fields, rural development management, media management, social media management, data analytics, and so on. I must mention that your allusions of World War I and World War II, with special reference to aptitude test and group discussion and personal interview, were indeed unique, sir. Your illuminating insights later in question answers is the entire insights short to make the path much easier for those who wish to take up this profession. Thank you for this very effective and fruitful session. I also take this opportunity to sincerely thank our principal, Dr. D.M. Doke, a seasoned academician himself, for his guidance and unwavering support. I profusely thank our Vice Principal and IQAC Coordinator, Srimati Chandana Chakraborty, for her moral support and constant guidance. My heartfelt gratitude to our convener, Dr. Kanchan Fulmali, who has got a keen eye for details and assures all the nitty-gritties are taken care of. Thank you, ma'am. I thank my team members, assistant professors, Ms. Rohini Madavi, Mr. Shuddhodhan Boliram Athaule, Ms. Kavita Desai, Ms. Siddhi Kadam, for coordinating various aspects of the webinar. Indeed, the success of such webinar in such a scale lies prominently in the responses of our audience who have joined us from various parts of the country, giving it a truly national appearance. Thank you all. We look forward to your presence in the upcoming sessions as well. Thank you. Thank you very much.
That he has focused very nicely and highlighted here very nice way the MBA journey. So we really thankful to you, sir. And I think in the YouTube chat, you have seen here your all appreciation. So there is, I don't feel you need here more appreciation more than the students which they have given here. So thank you very much, sir. And we are actually further thinking that why you have not, we want to conduct here one more session on MIM, and the student has asked one question, and I know that you have a glimpse of that also. So we will look forward here one more session on the same. Thank you very much, sir.
Definitely, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah.